the best regions to be competing here. Who is going to be able to make it through? Expectations here, BSJ.
Well, there's some heroes that are equally contested amongst these two teams, and one of those is Lion. Both these teams love that hero, and I'm expecting to see that on either side in the first round of the draft. You
love the Kaka Lion, I believe, right?
Yeah.
You're a big fan of that. Effie?
I'm just curious to see if we're going to have a Magnus come up, because while historically they haven't played that much of it, it just feels too good right now. And if you look at these first phase rounds already, it's in the pool.
Old 11 did play the Magnus once, and almost, I think he carried the game with that Magnus, so I wouldn't be surprised if VG Gaming decided to run it.
They did prioritize the Tiny more, and they give it away to IG. That's very interesting.
We'll see. EG made the same mistake against VG. I thought at least it was a mistake, prioritizing the Tiny. Actually, sorry, it was OG against... Against Spirit, sorry. Yeah, OG made this mistake.
No, the mistake EG made actually was leaving the pool to the very end, and VG last picked it, which was even more surprising.
Yeah, Magnus is the most broken hero I've seen conceptually throughout this main event. He wasn't as highly prioritized during the group stage, but the skewer horn toss combo, it's almost impossible to go high ground, and then you're a hero that accelerates the farm of your teammates, making late game powerful.
And the way you look at it, it can be like a longer range, easier, lower cooldown Batrider lasso, right? Because typically that's what Batrider was so broken for just in the past. His ability to just grab someone and bring him back to his team. But you have to build a Blink Dagger, you have to build a Force Staff, you have to do all of these things, and your cooldown was much higher. And while yes, Magnus does need items to do it, he does have a built-in farming ability. So it just seems really good. And this Magnus pick has really gone up in value with picking Phoenix, because RP is one of the best things you can do for defending Egg, right? I mean, picking the Lina countered this Phoenix in that regard, but I would say he's still a very good hero in defending that. On top of that, Phoenix is very good versus Tiny because of Sunray, which is percentage-based damage.
So what are the counters now to the Magnus? Because obviously Kyle mentioned the Omnibus used to be a counter, which is true. With the current Horn Toss playstyle, not the case anymore. So what do you do?
I like Lina conceptually. It's not just the fact that she's ranged damage dealer, so it's difficult to RP her alongside any of her teammates, but also she represents a lot of pickoff. She plays off map. Any hero that utilizes Empower has to put themselves on the creep wave in danger in order to farm, so any hero that can represent that solo kill threat or like a +1, 2 hero kill threat, Tiny and Lina do that really well.
Yeah, and I would say it's more so about just being conscious of the potential of a skewer, right? Because we've seen a lot of these teams get cocky in the enemy base and just making a little bit of mistakes in macro in that regard, just because we haven't seen that much Magnus during the groups. So as teams have been watching and respecting this hero, they will probably play around the threat better. The problem is it's just... Horn Toss is too good. It's instant. You blink and you do it. Your setup for heroes there. So hopefully, I guess conceptually, something like a Lion with an Hex, like you see him blink and you instantly disable, or maybe any kind of Yule's builder like a Void Spirit.
We talked about Disruptor in one draft. I remember you mentioned them as well.
Yeah.
This is the Static Storm.
For sure, but if you get Horn Toss, you can't do it, right? So if you're just far away, any kind of instant disable or silence should be good. But more so than anything, it's just consciousness and respecting the hero's ability to turn the game for his team.
That's tough, because changing your playstyle is much harder than adapting your draft. So.
Yeah, but these are players at the highest level, right? So it shouldn't be.
Alright, I'm sorry.
We'll see. I mean, yesterday nobody thought that OG would give it away twice, but they did. So.
I'm curious if IG will go for something like a Faceless Void, just another way to protect the egg, but also we saw it being used against Tiny yesterday, and it worked really well.
That's a very good point. I think Faceless Void is an interesting hero versus Tiny, just because once Tiny has BKB, he's a threat, right? Because he just walks in and starts hitting your entire team. But just Chronosphere is typically a counter for BKB. You drop it on him, and even if you can't kill him, you can at least buy time for your teammates to kill him. And not only does it combo with Supernova, it just will protect the egg on top of the Magnus, right? So typically when you look at a Void in this kind of game, you'd assume he's going to go on Lina, and Magnus will just RP the melee heroes, because it's too hard to catch a well-positioned Lina. But that's just a potential here.
It also suits Fly's playstyle, where he wants to carry the game, but with more of a teamfight-oriented hero like Spectre or Morphling, Void also within his pool, right? So it does suit the IG playstyle to tend to go for. In fact, that's been one of the criticisms of IG. They haven't really changed their style up. Is this a very IG draft right now we're seeing, BSJ?
Yeah, if you have two options when you have the Magnus. You have a hero like Faceless Void, another hero that's willing to do the AoE disable, or a hero that's going to draw a lot of attention to themselves by being the first one that goes in the fight, and they elect to go for the Spirit type hero, the Ember Spirit, and I think it's the best matchup against Lina mid. None of the matchups feel great. We saw Vici pick Lesh against Lina yesterday and just get absolutely wrecked, even though the Lina was picked before it. The thing about Ember compared to all the other melee heroes is at least he can slide a fist dodge the Light Strike array in the lane, making it so it's not as reliable for Lina to pressure him out.
That's a very good point. And while Lina can bully the Ember, if he does play well and just use that slight to dodge the stun, that's really the way to go about it. But in response to that, I've seen a lot of Linas just go Dragon Slave level 1 to deal with Ember.
And how does the matchup change then?
It's you will hit him with your Dragon Slave, right? It's something you're not expecting. You can use it to secure range. It's not as scary as a potential stun, but it's something that people do in case he gets Flame Guard as well. Yeah. Even though I don't think level 1 Dragon Slave cancels Flame Guard anymore.
No, Flame Guard's 110 now. There's virtually no spells in the mid lane that do cancel it, and that's why Ember Spirit's been seeing a lot more play in this tournament. You can reliably push out the first creep wave with your Flame Guard, and that's usually your weakest point before you get your bottle. But notice how their bans in Vici, second round, were TA, Ursa, and Monkey King, 3 heroes that really get up in the face of the Lina, and that's the type of hero she doesn't want to deal with, and Ember Spirit's probably the best candidate left.
And there's the line that BSJ was talking about in the beginning of the draft, how he expects it to be a contested hero, and how we brought it up theoretically as a response to the Magnus, right? So if this line is on his game and this Magnus blinks in, if he's in range, he should be able to stop the Skira back with the Hex.
Yeah, if he has vision of the mag before he blinks, you can cue the Hex outside of range of the mag, and the second the mag blinks in, it will Hex him before the Horn Toss goes off.
And typically, I think now that Magnus has become such a threat in this TI meta, these heroes that can inherently provide vision for the team, like Monkey King and Beastmaster, should go up in value, because the way that you play in something like Magnus now would be to just take the fight on your vision so that no one gets caught off guard in your team.
I was going to say this Doom pick's pretty sick because a lot of the carries that are good against Tiny are the ones like Faceless Void that like to take long, sustained fights, can somehow satanic or wear off your initial burst. And the long fight, being the counter to Tiny, is the exact way for Doom when he flourishes, right?
It's also Old 11's Doom, often called Old 11, often called the core of this team, and Old 11 also one of the most farming offlaners. You get a hero with inherent gold acquisition. What else would you ask? I mean, we have seen very little Old 11 Doom because it usually actually gets banned.
Yeah, he will be number one net worth 15 minutes.
Yeah, he will be. He's the true carry right now.
And we've seen that in groups. When teams play against Vici, they actually target ban most of Old 11's heroes. So the way that Vici approached drafting was that they just tried to first phase his heroes, but they actually changed that up during main stage. And maybe it's just like Old 11's confident. Target ban my heroes. I can play whatever you need me to play. So that's pretty cool to see. But another thing that I wanted to point out about Doom is just that if you look at the 3 heroes on IG right now, none of them really like to build Force Staff. I guess the utility Magnus can, but that's not the build you go for these days. So typically when a core on your team gets doomed, you want your supports to kite him away. So he just needs to be pushed back away, right? And not a Force Staff fire. So that's something cool that they have going for them.
Yep. We're going to see now the Wraith King. A couple of teams have decided on the Wraith King as a pretty valuable Doom counter. We've seen some success with it for, I think, with LGD that run in the group stages a couple of times against Doom. What do you think of this hero right now, BSJ?
Most notably, I look at his skeletons as his way of farming, so I look at it also as his way to like win the lane and take control of possibly pressuring the map in regards to the tower, the T1 that's in his lane, and they don't have any way to deal with that in the off-lane duel. You have the Lion plus the Doom. So I think his start will be really good on top of the fact that he is conceptually good against Doombringer as the game goes on. I think this is the only hero in the pool that would have taken long fights and still doesn't mind getting doomed. Yep. So I like the pick a lot now that I'm thinking it out loud.
But the concern for this is, while yes, Wraith King is a Doom counter, now Ember Spirit's just going to be the Doom magnet, right? So you're kind of worried about that because you don't really want to Doom this Wraith King. And if you look at Vici's draft, outside of the Doom, Lina and Tiny are always going to be ready to fight, right? They're low cooldown heroes, so it might not be the best game in theory for the Wraith King, but it definitely has merits here for all the reasons that Ryan mentioned.
Yeah, Ember can never go in first, and I think they realized that the second they saw the Lion Doom. He can't possibly react to Hex into Doom, so now they needed a hero that does go in first, and the Wraith King, the entire momentum of IG will be lost if he dies once or twice in the mid game with his ultimate on cooldown. As Mira said, they will be able to punish that with their low cooldown lineup. So we saw yesterday 23 Savage overextend a little bit on the Wraith King against Vici, and so we have to be careful of that happening again.
One of my questions, though, to Mira as well, is yesterday you spoke about why you were not the biggest fan of the Magnus Wraith King. Could you explain that again to the audience?
Yeah, so it's not that it's bad in any way, it's just that typically when you want a core hero to take advantage of Empower, it's something with inherently high attack speed, so typically an agi hero, or something with some kind of mechanism to make them go from camp to camp faster, right? So it's like a Faceless Void or an Anti-Mage or a PA, but Wraith King does benefit greatly from the Empower. It's just that when I think about the kind of carries you want hitting someone in RP, Wraith King doesn't come to mind as the best one, but it's still pretty good, you know? It's just those two heroes together, it's fine.
There are better options.
Yeah, there are better options, but in this game, they do need a hero that goes in first, and you want your carry to be the one doing that in this patch, so he actually was just the best pick here, I would say.
You were raving about this hero behind the scenes.
I love this hero. Well, I'm the host, but I'm going to answer this because Brewmaster is the hero that just gets rid of one person in the fight, right? So he's great against heroes like Tide. He's great against heroes like Wraithing, for example. Heroes that you can't kill immediately or that have 2 lives for whatever reason. He's fantastic at eliminating them. And we have seen, I actually think this might be a PYW Brewmaster. We have seen it a couple of times, but it's a very interesting pickup here as a 5.
Yeah, the AoE Dispel for the Ember Shield as well as the Empower, both those can be removed by the Brewmaster's ult, and this Clockwork, he's going to have a large weight on his shoulders because none of these melee bruisers, the cores on the side of Vici, can deal with the clogs.
But just about this brew really quick, this has been a very popular support pick in China, and they just played it on the Vessel, right? And then it kind of fell out of favor because people figured out you just dispel it, but they don't really have any dispels for this build here, and outside of the 8-second Cyclone, which is absurd in winning fights, it seems like a really creative hero, and I can see it fitting this draft very well.
Originally North American, by the way. It was 4 Zoomers who first innovated this 5 as well. Yeah, a little bit of
Panda.
Here in spirit, baby.
Red Panda.
Yeah, Red Panda was doing it a little bit
Shout out to
after.
Red Panda, RNG, we never forgot you, man.
Well, as the draft ends, I'd just like to hear the game plan, BSJ. I don't get a last word, so what are we looking out for here?
I'd say the game plan for IG is to have map momentum coming out of the lanes. It will be led by the Wraith King, with it being like the lanes being pushed with the connection of the Clockwork as well as the Ember. They're probably going to leave the Phoenix to kind of do his own thing on the map, while on the other hand, Vici will be looking to shut down this momentum just once and then sit back and farm until their Doom is basically 5 or 6 slotted. Because once he has the refresher, Shiva's BKB, I have a hard time believing IG can take it.
Agreed. It seems like IG have to play the tempo game here.
Oh, no, actually, we're ready. We're ready now to start the game. As we're going in, we're first going to get a quick tidbit of information. It's going to be April.
The time for preparation is short. Use it wisely.
Oh, thank you so much, Flax. And yes, indeed, Trent, we are here. We are ready for this matchup as the game has already gotten underway. That last pick, Brewmaster, he feels like it's greedy. They're ready for it. What do you think?
I don't know. It sounds like he's saying easy game. That's what I just heard. So it's been very popular on the main stage the past couple days, but I love the confidence coming out there from Super. Just saying, too greedy, right? You guys see this all the time in your games. Ladies and gents at home, you've played some Dota. You've felt this pain before. Why is everyone picking stuff that needs so much gold on my team? But DY, he's prepared to make the sacrifices here on this Brewmaster.
True enough. And it's interesting too, right? We were looking at the drafts, and the last 4 bans all felt like they were targeted at these like save type heroes, and then also dispels, which is what they're going to be getting out of that Brewmaster hopefully. But there are a lot of other heroes in this draft. What do you think about the rest of them? The Wraith King, obviously great against the Doom, but also kind of a hero that's been like, man, never feeling great about it.
Yeah, no.
And speaking of which, oh my God, already right off the bat, in some trouble. Fly trying to get out of there, but won't happen. Old 11, drawn first blood.
Well said. I mean, clearly a hero that's having some problems here in the main event for sure. And well, of course, you know, you can hear some dancing there. That's PYW on that lion. The hero that was definitely talked about a lot coming into this one. Oh yeah, let it go there, PYW. Who was gonna get it, right? That was the question. And so what I think is interesting is like Kaka, of course, renowned for his lion. He's gonna be playing that Clockwork, which is a hero that I would say has been looking fantastic. Probably mostly from DJ, probably one of the most standout performances so far in the tournament with that earlier on here in the main event. And so you would think that Kaka has an extremely good idea of how he can deal with this line in the game, right? And I see vision from the Clockwork trying to spot this line before the fights, and as well as if you just stick on that line, you really ruin his game.
Right, it's going to be up to definitely the line to keep himself out of that vision, make sure that he dodges away from the fights whenever things go on that way. And, you know, of course, PYW, well known for his solid support play. So we'll see how that one goes. Is DY going to try and make this move over to connect the way? Does manage to get it. So no free pull off there by Kaka.
Well, JT still able to at least play over here, and DY, you have to be a little careful, right? Versus the Clockwork, might hope to get that movement speed sooner rather than later on the Brewmaster, but already has the Drunken Brawler, so that's his tool right now to deal with this.
It is still a lot of pressure. Super annoying just to get battery assaulted and ran down a little bit there. And Poyo gonna move in, try and get himself a little bit of extra farm. So they connected it up and actually brings down Ollie down bottom. Quick and easy on the rundown kill.
Wow, they've really been putting on the pressure there with the stuns too, just like slowly burning him piece by piece down on that Phoenix. And I mean, it's not the first blood kill, but still a bit painful. Of course, you do get to play Courier whenever you die early, so it'll be coming back with the chainmail, and so that same harass can be much weaker versus Fly now with the early armor there.
It'll be good to watch. You know, it's interesting. We haven't really talked about it all that much yet, but this mid lane matchup, we're going to see Emo versus Ori. Going into this tournament, I would have said Emo 100%, but like the last couple of days, Ori has really stepped up his game. I've been super impressed with his play.
Yeah, there's no doubt he was the big question mark, not so much Emo, in this lineup right now. Trying to figure out, like, okay, where's Ori been? Like, they're winning some games and stuff, but it felt like he was sort of struggling, and then coming in the main event, you really need that clutch factor coming in your mid lane, and he has stepped it up, and I feel like he's at the point now where I need more out of his teammates, too. Like, he's done his part. I really feel like his gameplay's improved so much that if the allies, the Hez, can do that similarly, BG can go very far.
Well, and so far, this bottom lane doing a lot. Old 11 and PYW already putting some of that pressure onto Fly on this Wraith King. You can see they're not letting him down. Even with that chainmail, they're keeping the right clicks in and also killing off the Courier.
Very nice going stuff great. Here.
Oh,
top lane though.
Going a little bit now, trying to take down Kaka, get a couple more of those punches in, but the battery assault turnaround, not able to catch him in the cogs. Old tree in there, got some separation.
Oh man, so much action all over this map here. And yeah, of course, the mid lane, we haven't really discussed this that much in terms of the matchup, but Lina ran out for like, doesn't really lose many lanes, of course. And so, Ori, you're expecting to start stepping up here pretty soon as you hit the level 4. And probably going to see Emo just playing a little bit less, like actually in the lane itself.
Right.
I doubt we're going to see any rotations for the kills. If there is though, Kaka, you know, maybe he finds that lucky angle, right? Comes in with the cogs, pushes Ori back into the river. But they have a ward to help protect against that. That will be expiring pretty soon from Vici.
Can see Root comes out there from Emo and trading hits again to make sure he gets that.
You really wanted that range creep.
I mean, Emo's going in on this now with a lot of HP. The Fairy Fire comes out, needs to break the Flame Guard. Is it going to be enough? Living on nothing, Ori. It's about 10 HP right there.
Oh, PYW.
Oh, moves over to the side. Gonna get a couple right clicks.
Real hard.
This could be pretty good, but Phoenix moves into position, and that's going to stop the pressure. Still, good aggro from Emo.
Yeah, I mean, creeps are strong, but they're not that strong, unfortunately, to help out PYW there. But rotating in, and unfortunately, though, we also had the rotation coming from Kaka. He guarded that water run up top, so Emo's going to be very happy with the current situation, forcing the full walk back there from Ori. We'll have to TP back in. And no, you saw earlier in that top lane though, where DY is actually like trying to fight back some harass. It's not one of these combos that you would expect with the Brewmaster, right? You don't have the the Cinder Brew into like a cheap spell that's really easy to toss out. You don't have this big mana pool. We see like Venge Brew, so you can just like Wave of Terror, activate and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Polio comes over to help out, but that's costly.
This is still going to be a good kill if they can get it. Can they finish him off? Oh, the slowdown comes from the Shockwave, and then the salve up afterwards, able to get out Akaka.
And Polio still holding the wave through all that at the very least, so we'll just go right back to farming while dishing out some damage, but nice salve there from Kaka. And also just gonna get in there and make sure he has the block off there too. So no stacks for you, Vici.
Yeah, nothing given for free, that's for sure. As down bottom, you can see the pressure is gonna be mounted yet again. They got this side pull off by Vici and now going to connect the wave to it. And it's really hard for Flyfly to walk in there. Every single time they keep on getting that pull off, it's just a couple of creeps that he ends up losing. Right now, level 4 on the Wraith King. As TP back home, should be able to come back out with the Remnant afterwards. As QIW has to back away. Ollie doing some good damage. Trying to secure the 6-minute rune, but with Emo coming over, this might just be a freebie. As they move on in, LSA won't keep PYW alive. Emo ready to keep that pressure on, and up top they also find the kill onto JT.
Oh, that one was a long time coming too. Polio really putting the pressure on JT as much as he could, and sort of just like waiting for that moment where, and when you throw out so much harass, at a point the mag is just gonna like keep playing in the lane, right? And just be like, yeah, you keep lowering me, but you're never going for the actual kill. And so that's all basically a bunch of conditioning there from Polio before they actually bring over the help from DY for the secure. So very well done there. Also gets a D ward inside his own jungle there. It looks like Kaka placed down. So solid start here for the 5 Brew. Well, I say that, you know, and now he's being ganked by Emo, so
yeah,
maybe not so solid.
I mean, it's hard to take him down. He's got a lot of HP on this Brewmaster, one of the reasons people like him. And in fact, with the rotation over from the Lion, they're able to get DY out. So and not bad.
Yeah, the lack of boots there on Kaka as well, right? Couldn't keep up with the battery assault, and despite being just a wind blade, it's already 330 for the Panda.
Currently the lowest net worth on him, but getting some levels here and there as Polio already up to level 6, has those treads done. It's likely trying to get into that Echo Saber, and also we're seeing JT get into that Helm of the Dominator that's become so popular. God, this hero just feels so insane every time we watch it.
I love the players that really utilize that Helm of the Dominator to the full extent too, and with this idea of IG1 to play pretty fast this game, it can be an amazing tool. It's down bottom.
Going on to Old 11, looking for the rundown. Do they have enough for the kill though? Don't think so. 1100 HP in a Soul Ring. This guy's strong. Yeah, Phase Boots too, working towards that Midas, and as the panel mentioned, Old 11 looking to be the richest, already there. Yeah. Up by a significant margin compared to his own teammate on the Tiny. That is not easy to slow Doom down, particularly when he gets a good start like he saw there, right into the first blood. PYW looking for the stun to open this one up on Akaka, but there isn't clean opening, so we'll just hang out there as Emo farming very low in the jungle and is going to TP back home to regen. Yeah, those early rotations, and it looks like now Vici feeling comfortable just sitting back in their lanes and not really doing that much to mix things up at least. They're getting farmed on all their heroes. They've read the forecast, you know. They know the storm is coming from IG. That is most certainly the plan, right? But there's a few things they want to check off first. They want to get Kaka to level 6. They want to get that Helm fully finished up there on JT, and then probably smoke with the creep, go for some kills, and then start threatening some towers. Flyfly wants to be activated early in this game too, going for that armlet build, so expect the pressure to come here soon. As PYW smoking in here, probably just a warding mission, as you want to try and scout out where they want to set up this smoke, right? And so wards deep in your enemy territory early on, even if you don't want to get aggressive, they're so good at spotting. Of course, we always talk about the courier rotations, but just where people will kind of want to like back up, group up, and smoke. And they're actually just going to transfer the smoke right to the mid lane. Kaka goes left when he hoped he would go right. Well, Emo might be the bigger one to go for. Walks in, gets the Earth Spike to open. Follow up, no, there's TPs coming in. Now they have to be careful on Vici, and in fact, PYW might just end up falling here as Emo and Ollie move into position and can't get that denied by the neutral camp. Not the play they were looking for there on side of Vici. They finally get some aggression going, gets turned around on them. So excellent stuff there for IG considering where this game was going. Yeah, that's a bold play. And then pretty deep, able to trade over aggro to the creeps, but still caught in these calls at Old 11. He's just gonna fall. Most net worth in the game gets dropped by Kaka.
Yo, Flyfly was bluffing there too. He'd been holding the point for so long, but he'd actually spent it. He did not have one left for the ulti.
Oh. I mean, yeah, that would have been a huge kill if they could have made it. I mean, at the same time, though, you see all these cores from Vici still incredibly farmed. So giving up kills like that, it's gotta hurt. 3-3, 10 minutes in. And Emo looking for a rune, wants to get active here with this one if he can make it happen, but DY gonna cover the angle. It's an arcane, and looks like they're able to get it onto Ori. No deny coming out from that Helm of the Dominator creep.
Yeah, Satyr tried his best there, but not going to find it. But there it is, the lovely Tome going to be coming out here. So this is where your Brewmaster is going to have the level 6, can utilize that Primal Spit. And it can be tough. It's a 2-minute cooldown, so you really don't want to waste it on a bad fight, because it feels like that's sort of your entire toolkit when you play the 5 Brewmaster.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything that he's going to be picked for in this game. Granted, there's been some times where he's like survived a gank that others might not have, but it needs to be more than a glorified creep at this point in the game.
Yeah, I think there's some serious issues from this game too. So benefits, he has the AoE Dispel. That's pretty sweet versus like the Ember versus the Empower. Definitely a helpful tool. The Tornado to just like toss up maybe the Phoenix or the Mag, one of these big playmakers, even just a Clockwork. Just remove someone from the engagement, right? Let you focus on other heroes. But I see like Slight Empower later on. When you're support Brew, you're not getting a lot of levels, which means your Brewmaster Panthers, they're not getting very tanky.
No, he's gonna get torn up.
Yeah, Slight and Power, they could just die.
We'll see if he can get in towards some of those levels later on, but right now, at the very least, JT is having a wonderful time trying to catch up a little bit on this mag, playing with the Helm of the Dominator creep. No real pressure being expended onto him, so it feels like he's kind of got a free path towards that Blink Dagger. As Old 11 and DY down bottom don't really want to go, but there's multiple heroes from IG that are showing up here as well. And the smoke up from the Phoenix and the Clockwork.
This is really tough to deal with because it is a Wraith King, right? You don't want to use Doom. You don't want to use Brew Split since he has the ulti on the Reincarnation, right? You always have to be considering that. And I don't want to trade either of those spells for Reincarnation. So even just being in this part of the map feels really bad, I would say, for DY. But he also has to be there defensively, too, because he doesn't want his big pinata of a Doom to go down and give away some of that big gold bounty that you're able to gain on the hero.
They just got this D ward here up on this high ground. IG put a ward over there, and it was taken away by Vici, and then they also miss on the sentry. So IG a little bit working blind, and well, Kaka moves into position, hookshot afterwards. He's gonna maybe be able to get that ulti off. Needs to get it, but the battery interrupting too much. Eventually finds it. Supernova down, LSA afterwards. Vici bring down that egg, and now the lift up on the mag. He wasn't able to get the RP off. The turnaround, Vici Gaming takedown 3.
Oh, that was nice. That's like the dream fight for a Brewmaster player, right?
So good.
You absorb so much damage, so much attention from the team, and you still get the ulti off, and then catching that throw up on the Magnus of the mid skewer. Ooh. DY showing some chops here on the 5 Brew.
Oh, the draft maybe not looking so greedy anymore. It's looking pretty good here.
Greed is good.
That's true. I think that's a voice line. 4K gold up right now on Vici. Looking easy as pie, and IG, they're just gonna need to make some moves eventually. It's just the hero's a little bit static at the moment, and Vici ready to go. Old 11 moves into position. Flyfly turns on him, though. LSA as they rotate in from Ori, now trying to get the right clicks in for the kill. The Hex is out, Finger of Death done.
Emo's
Flyfly, I mean, he's hitting pretty hard. They take down 2, and now looking for more. Ori didn't bite off more than you can chew. Root now, the walk back in from Flyfly with this armlet, hoping to kill off DY, but he misses once. Tries to get the secondary one. The turn now, Flyfly goes down, but they brought in the back. JT, he still has RP, connects on the both. Bring him on down.
The instant hit back from IG in the top lane. A little bit bold there to start out, but they drag that fight out, those longer engagements, right? Trying to make a play out of that with the Wraith King, and then Emo coming through on that Ember. Excellent stuff there, and the final stamp there from JT as well.
Man.
Easy tower take into the enemy jungle, and much needed with how this game was getting there, right? Like 11, of course, that was even his blink reveal. For it to look like that, not a great sign.
It's just, I mean, it's one of those moments where on the big stage, you feel so strong, you're looking like things are gonna go great. They got also the Fool Assassin mixed in there, taking away the regen from the Doom, and then in the end, come in and clean up on IG, and now a hook shot back behind enemy lines, finding PYW dead.
That's my hero.
Unreal.
You give that back.
That's my Lion.
I'll kill you again.
Kaka definitely knows how to make Lions suffer.
Yeah. That will be the game plan. Now, Old 11, despite revealing the blink, obviously didn't actually use the Doom, so there could be some hesitation here for IG moving forward, but they say, like, go ahead. Like, eventually we need to force out these big ultis. We don't have the RP right now. If you guys want to, like, come and try and defend, let's see what you got.
Dire should look to their
And they're not going to do it. For the moment, at least, Vici a little bit hesitant about that move potential, and this tier 2 tower being pressured, no response yet, but as they move out with DY and Poyo, it's going to be the back out.
The flare is just so good versus both the Lion and the Brewmaster, particularly this Brewmaster who probably not going to get a blink. If he does, it is a very long ways away. So if you can just spot him like in the tree line like that, his only initiation is like preemptive ulting, you know, and it's just so easy to back away in those situations.
Man, this Fly build is pretty cool too, going after the armlet into Deso. Now, the only problem is this actually is a little bit scary if he gets doomed with that armlet on. It's going to start losing a ton of HP super quick.
Just keep swinging. That's all.
That's all you can do.
It'll be fine.
Well,
I think the best thing to me is that they just get objectives, right? Like, whenever you have an Ember on your team, you know, that's a mid that doesn't really help in that situation.
Right.
Meg, he's got some hits too, sure, but with a Deso on a Wraith King, and you're getting Roche, you're getting towers, and that's what they're trying to do right now. They want to punish and find as many objectives as they can in these times when VG just don't want to engage.
well, that does feel to be right now. Shadow Blade coming out on Poyo. And for IG, the map is looking very clear. Obviously, that like movement in towards the top tier 2 tower could be good with a lot of vision that they have around that area.
Yeah.
But you also sort of have a window here before PYW gets Blink Dagger, where you can maybe make some more stuff happen.
I mean, VG have a very clear game plan. Like, they've just put some wards like near their entrances to their jungle. They're just camping on these high grounds. They're hanging out near these wards. They're watching for smoke pops. They know that IG are coming.
Yeah.
Dire's middle
Oh, and now Ollie gets a D ward there too. Very nicely done.
Yeah, this is a scary time now. They get that deny in the tower. That gives Lion enough gold for the Blink Dagger. He's flying it out right now on PYW. And you're also getting closer to these BKBs.
Yeah, but that Roche, I mean, it's too fast in the Deso. It's just gone. Oh, DY, really?
He's going in. There's a lot of heroes here. Supernova down.
Did you see that? That was a Brewling.
Yeah, he does not last that long.
It was gone.
Just instantly. This split is not going to be able to stop this Roche from happening. So Aegis on the ground.
Oh no.
Hello?
Team?
What?
Team?
This is an important match. Team, there's an Aegis on the ground. It's just sitting in there. Nobody got it.
All right, now the cheese I can understand.
Oh my God, IG! Somebody
Wait,
go pick
no.
up the Aegis.
Kaka's gone.
He's walking back in, I think. Do
Oh my
they
God,
not know?
They actually don't know.
They don't know.
I mean, who would it?
Oh my God, they don't know. The Aegis is still on the ground.
Oh,
the Lever walks in and gets the Aegis. What? Are you kidding me? Oh no! Just like that, it happens.
Haha, says Ori.
Oh my God!
All right, well,
Never in my life, Trent.
listen, it's fine. It's fine. They have a Wraith King. He has an Aegis. It's fine. It's one of the abilities. He has reincarnation. You know what? This is just a move saying we don't need it. You know? So what if I swagger? Says Wraith King.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's fine. Look, they're gonna win. They don't need it. All right.
Okay.
They're just still gonna march at your buildings. They're giving them a chance.
Poyo gonna get stunned now, and IG, LSA comes out. They back away. Finds a kill here, possibly bringing him down low, not quite dead. They brought down Poyo, but everybody from IG is still surviving. Now, afterwards, they managed to find the stun. Good amount of damage there on Kaka. He falls down.
Oh,
Did IG stick around a bit too long? They lost the Aegis and now potentially going to lose this fight. RP on the two, but where's the follow-up damage? They don't have it. JT, nowhere left to go.
You know what?
Oh my
That would
God.
have looked a lot better with an Aegis.
You're not wrong, Trent. You are not wrong. As Old 11 tries to run down Emo, it's going to be the chase on the Phoenix. Ollie caught, gets the dive away. How do you mentally recover from that?
Game 2.
Oh,
That's
man.
that's a very tough one to reset. That's gonna take a lot of discussions in the booth and just it's fine, it's in the past, it's done. Write a little note, take Aegis next time. That's pretty much all you can do. That really hurts. It hurts in every Dota game to have your Aegis snatched or accidentally deny it. But in this one in particular, when you're trying to play at such a fast tempo and really trying to get as much as you can out of the first 30 minutes of the game, that one's really painful to watch.
Well, we're going to have to move on as well as this game is continuing to be played out, and it's a 3,000 gold lead now for Vici. DY going to be wrapped around on by Kaka. There's the hook shot in, and it looks like they'll be able to, oh no, Bruce split out. The turnaround, Emo shows up as well, needs to get out with at least one of these Panda. Invis one away, and with that, DY dodges the gank.
Interesting tactic. I mean, utilizing the split for essentially a free lane push, right? Like, it's pretty difficult to get all the pandas or to just like chase down the Earth Panda if that's going to be your strategy. Maybe get into some earlier farm with some other items here. Hoping for a potential force staff to help out versus the Clockwork as well.
DD now on Ori, and they're going to pressure this bottom tier 2 tower, but there is a glyph out, and IG, we'll see if they come to defend this or not. But with it fully surrounded, it feels unlikely.
And Doom has an Aegis, so you know.
That's true. Still another 2 minutes left on that one.
Top lane.
Ori, they find Ollie. Old 11 and Ori combined together for the kill.
And do you have
hook
to go
shot
for
after
back
towards mid lane. DY caught again. No split this time. And they will be able to kill off the Panda. So IG trying to pull things back together a little bit.
Kaka's rallying the troops, and this is a great hero to be on to do it because it can be very difficult from the support role 5 or 4 to get these great initiations, but that's one thing that's so important about how Kaka plays the Lion. I feel like he goes for those initial jumps more than other Lion players. A lot of Lions, like, sure, you go for the Hex on like the Storm or the Ember or something, but he's willing to jump on anyone when he plays that hero, and so putting him onto a Clockwork, it gives him even more power in that same role without the need for as many items.
True. It's so much of that tempo that can just be set by support position is incredibly useful in these games, and not a huge loss if it ends up dying when there's an overextension. A Lincoln Sphere done for Ember now, but the smoke up comes. Everybody with the exception of Phoenix. And Emo, who does he find? Old 11. It's there.
He has an Aegis.
That's true. Oh my god, they're gonna kill him with the Aegis. Hooks up afterward. Backline jumps the backline, finds Ori. That's not a bad one, but he gets the BKB in the walkaway. Emo, slow down, killing him, dead. He's coming back though. Round 2, and Vici, they're all in the area. The Supernova's down. Do they want to fight this? Well, BKB in the runaway. Old 11 stun, chased, and eventually RP'd and killed. IG, they're back.
They need that. Right, again, just mentality-wise, finding that kill. Maybe not the best part of the map, and so close to getting Ori too. That would have been huge. They actually missed the hook shot, unfortunately, there from Kaka for the follow-up. So not able to get the full kill done. But into the tower they go, right? This is still a Wraith King with Deso. He has the Blink. He also has the Brigand's Blade too, which, you know, a couple swings on some of these heroes, you're just going to get melted.
Well, Polio gonna pressure out these side lanes, and again, everything to try and slow down this timing that's coming from IG.
Kaka's on him again here.
Yeah, got him in vision. DY caught. Does he use the split this time or giving up his life as, oh wait, got pushed out to the other side. Yeah, he's dead.
The best part is that was even without the hook shot. Yeah. He just flared and then force staffs his way in there too. Did leave a pretty sneaky ward behind there from DY though. See if that'll help them later on some potential ganks. And you know who we haven't seen much of this game is Poyo.
That's true.
1, 1, and 2. Just kind of hanging out this game. Still has the max BKB. I feel like he might be ready to party.
Well, Vici smoked up now as 4 without DY, and they want to make a fight happen. Who do they get? Fly's there. Oh, blinks away. Instead, they run to Ollie. Everybody piling on, and PYW found the Wraith King afterwards. LSA connects. Force staff trying to keep him alive. Kaka in there as well, but one more hit comes in, and they manage to find the kill. Can they do round 2 of this one? JT trying to buy a little bit of space for his team, but afterwards the Avalanche toss comes out, finger dead. IG losing hero after hero. They keep Fly by Life for now, but DY position.
He just
Kaka
respawned.
gets the cogs pushback for the moment. DY still looking for the chase and ooh, thought about going for more, but calls it off.
Yeah, very interesting there from Vici, right? Smoking out there while the Brewmaster was still dead, so perhaps catching him a little bit off guard, and also finding a fight before the RP was ready. The horn toss was there, but JT couldn't quite figure out the right play for it in that moment. And that will send Vici back, but the main goal that they got, I suppose, would have been the reincarnation. Unfortunately for them, it is level 18 on the Wraith King, so back just that minute cooldown, much harder to punish at this point in the game.
They are at least able to stay pretty far out there on the map. They took back over the outpost. It's going to be reclaimed by IG before that 25-minute mark. But still, you can see this lead growing for Vici as the game goes on. This is just what Doom does. Though there is still a very farmed Wraith King. How do you feel each team is kind of feeling about the state of the game right now?
I think for IG, it's I would guess hollow would be the word, where like you're still playing, but it's got to be itching at the back of your head, just like, oh, we should be so much further up right now. Like,
right.
It's so hard to put that away and just like pack it up and move on. But all they can do is try and keep going for these plays and try and keep this tempo moving forward for them. The next big items probably they're just hoping for, like, they have the Lincolns, the Maelstrom on this Ember, so should be more confident jumping to these fights, watching out for that Doom.
Oh, and it gets the split off there. A couple other heroes in the area, but you'd have to assume that DY is just going to try and get out of here with these pandas. Earth One running. They got eyes on him, though. The slow, steady rundown, lift up afterwards from the Storm Panda, and I think that DY's teammates are going to leave him for dead here.
Yeah. So if you're new to Brewmaster, you always respawn on the Earth Panda if it's still alive before the Agnums comes out. We won't get into that. But so they can basically just hunt that one down and guarantee they'll catch him. Sometimes you'll see them kind of leave it alive for a bit because they don't want to kill the Earth Panda and thus transfer the ownership to the next Panda,
right.
And then miss out on the kill when the Brewmaster leaves the ulti form.
Well, try two here. I have a feeling IG are going to pick it up this time.
I think so. I think they should just leave it just for a second, you know?
There you go. Oh, he's got it. Emo's ready. Aegis, Shard, good to go.
Mentally, they could recover if they had have just left it, though.
That's true.
That would really show something. But no, they're back in the game. All right, everything's fine this time. Emo heads down the bottom. They're going to grab a gem onto Ollie, something that's becoming more and more common in the international as we move forward, is these earlier gems, just to get rid of this vision that your opponent's going to have on your side of the map.
Lincoln's is ready, and that's going to be enough to stop Vici from going for the big jump, and instead Fly going to become visible right away. Avalanche toss from Poyo, backs out for Staff. Getting a little bit of separation there. DY is behind him. Gonna pop that BKB and run away. Shadow Blades out.
They need JT here for this play to work. He's trying to catch up.
DY doesn't have ulti for another 20. So they'll find themselves another kill on
JT,
the support Brew.
He's following the creeps.
Tries to get him. Old 11 could blink away. And they won't quite be able to catch him there. Nicely done.
Yeah, pretty much a 50-50 at that point. They could have gotten him. And then look what Ori does. TP to the top lane and pushes in the tower. Nice play there. Oh, that egg. That could have actually turned into something, but unfortunately for them, the one hero they need, right? Like, when that egg forces the entire enemy team to just run away, you're hoping JT's there in time, right? Because he can get the pierce to the BKB. He can get whatever target they want, draw it back towards the egg, and guarantee the pickoff for the team. Only getting DY, not what they wanted.
Kaka, again, doing a great job of trying to catch this Lina. Gonna TP away afterwards. That's enough. Oh, no! Wasn't long enough on that BKB. TP too late, and Ori caught and killed Kaka. Pulling his team back.
And that is why you stay.
Yeah.
Every time, right, as the support. You double check, you click on there just to make sure. Yeah, surprising you get caught there, though. Rare misplay on the main stage when it comes to the BKB TPs. Finally get the punish.
I guess he just thought that there was a chance that JT was nearby or something and wanted to get that little separation first, but ends up getting punished for it. But this is now a smoke up again from IG as they're going to run down that mid lane. Aegis in hand for another 3 minutes. They want to get active. Looking for an opening with that horn toss. Fly, beaten away or down. Jump right at the start. Old 11's there. They're going to go for the split. And going to get that lift up. Emo afterwards. DD could use it to spell.
Look at JT though.
Stun. Avatar is dead. Kaka gone. Fly there afterwards. They miss on the Horton. BKB is out. Jump forward. Old 11 looking for a target. Wants to get him. Got him. Done. Double kill for Poyo. DY afterwards. They get a great Earth Spike as the respawn happens for Fly. Emo's still alive here. What else do they have left in the tank? They don't have Doom available, but IG gonna respect the high ground defense.
Oh, they're trying so hard here from IG just to get that one mistake from Vici and get the punish with the Magnus, but unable to find it. A strong high ground defense here, and sure, you still have Aegis for another 2 minutes. Maybe you can go once again, but every time that misses, the game just gets harder and harder for IG, and Vici just gained more and more confidence.
And Ori, in the meantime, looking to find somebody on the bottom side that steps just a bit too far out.
Needs the help there from PYW, running in the smoke too, just to get through this Lincolns.
And
all right, freehand LSA.
Oh, he starts it off, and there's the pop. Can they get the kill? Yes, indeed. Aegis down. Do they have a round 2 now? He's coming back out. Fire Remnant about to expire. Oh, he gets away at the last second. It was about to expire there.
Very close, but all good. All right, so now main issue though, of course, don't have the Aegis for continuing to push the high ground. They, I guess, do have reincarnation though, right?
That's true.
So can keep pressuring that tower just with the Wraith King here, but they're actually going to try and find their opponents in the river.
Counterplay
is
coming.
there. He's Blink and Force Staff though. This is a hard grab. They're Link first.
A little bit separated. Who do they find? Vici supports, backing away. PYW walks back into the flare vision. And DY, ooh, just barely outside of it.
How many times this game, you know? Old 11 getting away, now DY there too. IG been chasing ghosts for a lot of this one, and then you just have heroes staying on their side of the map and pushing out waves like Poyo in the bottom right now.
He's keeping that one pressured, yeah. Every single time one of these does not connect by IG when they make the big 5-man smoke rotations, something else falls apart there.
I mean, we can talk about the game like looking hard and stuff going late for IG, which it definitely does, but they also have some heroes that can still make the turning plays, right?
That's
in particular, that Magnus. So.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
Yes, you'd rather win early and everything, but they're not completely doomed here.
Good blink away. Doom. BKB out. Do they have enough to bring him down? The rest of the heroes wrapping around. Old 11 tries to back out, but it won't happen. IG now looking for a bit more, but they won't be able to find it. In fact, it's just going to be a lift up for the moment, but 60 seconds, no Doom. This is a huge window for IG here.
Yep.
Buyback, how much is he away? 400 gold.
Yeah, they still have some creeps with them here too, so they have to go for the glyph. They're going to counter glyph as well. Trying to keep this creep up as long as they can.
Emo, no Bruce split available. Poyo trying to protect DY. But with Ori out on the other side of the map, he has the potential to cut those waves. Vici will, at least for the moment, hold that high ground.
Yeah, it's they moved into the slow game now from IG.
BKB TP out. Any hook shots? No.
Was getting pretty close though, that's for sure.
Fly TP's on back home. The boot.
So we got hook shots, we have an Abyssal being worked on for Fly. We have RP. If they want to keep going for these plays on the side lanes, there is a punish, right? For these BKB TPs, it's not just going to be this free guarantee for them. PYW also trying to find some safety here with a potential Aeon disc, much like DY. So both supports looking to try and get out of the chain stun that is available from IG, because they certainly have a lot of it, right? Pretty much everyone's got some way to control you if you count the Phoenix Egg.
And for now, at least, Vici back to what they've been doing before, pushing out these lanes and dodging fights whenever possible. But with Roche capable of respawning again, that's going to be about a minute and a half. We'll see how this one works out, but it's a move with 4, Poyo bottom. Ready to TP in a moment's notice.
All right, Ori. They have a sentry down here for if Ori pops on the smoke.
Be careful. There's the jump in, the Hex to open. Fly afterwards, stuns up the Lion. But down low, Kaka almost dead, ends up getting the hook shot away, but not soon enough. They on the feet, and the Manta afterwards. Oh, brilliant play right now for Ori. He was able to dodge the stun, and now target. Can he live long enough? Emo has. Meanwhile, Fly just getting decimated up on the high ground. JT also going down. Ori just did so much in that. And Kaka back again. Do they have enough to kill him off afterwards? Ali also in this trying to make something happen. Poyo and Old 11 combo together. together to bring down the bird again. These buybacks not enough for IG as they're gonna lose 4.
VG, they know. They can feel this game and how it's going, and what a fantastic fight there, especially from Old 11 jumping in there with the stun and the doom.
God, so much damage out from that freaking Tiny and the Lina that whole time.
It's always the bottled DD, right?
Right.
The bottled illusion at 33 minutes making the big play. Very nice stuff there from Vici, and here it is again.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I thought that it was looking pretty good for a moment, but when they just couldn't bring her down. Look at this, how low freaking Ori gets in that illusion.
And he bashes the illusion.
Yes.
That can change so much there in that engagement if he gets the right one there on that first swing. But certainly the star of the fight's got to be Old 11 with that initial stun there too. And they're just wondering there what to do on IG.
What could have been and what's to come.
JT's got to find the big plays, right? I mean, he's there, you see him, he's checking out, what do I got to do here? But this is not the frightening Magnus we've seen, right? But to be fair, he hasn't got to play near his own pace. You know, you think about all those mag highlights, that's kind of where most of them are. But he's had the horn toss for a long time, and I feel like I haven't really seen the massive horn toss breaking plays that we're used to. Just playing very tight on the side of EG.
If he can pull it back here as we get towards the later stages of this one, 35 minutes in, and Vici taking control of this map. It's gonna be a minute until Aegis is up. Most likely, the vision from this clockwork will be the big turning point if they're able to make a good fight happen for IG, and of course JT's plays.
Yeah, and that is a hard thing to even figure out right now for IG. What is a good fight for them at this point, right? It feels like it just has to be straight up a blow up onto Ori. Like that's the most likely scenario to me. You know, he's got Satanic, he's got BKB, but they certainly have the heroes where you could chain stun and kill him very quickly if there's not a fast response from Vici.
Well, this game, you can see the differences between them. Both mid laners doing so much damage, getting involved in the kills. A couple more deaths for Ori, but they need to be absolutely perfect here from IG to finish this one off. And
they've recognized what IG need to do on the side of Vici. So you've got Old 11 with the locked up Aeon disc, right? He's ready. Yeah. DY gonna buy it next. You have PYW working just about towards that as well too. So they know it's one big fight that IG really need to get back in this game, like one big buyback crazy Roche fight, and they don't want to give that one burst of a hero away. And you know, as Doom, you don't really care if you're dooming people with your Aeon going, right? You just want to doom them. You just want to remove them from the engagement.
Exactly. So, will they be able to make that work? We've got the standoff across the river from each other. And Kaka and the Skeletons hanging out. Roche is up. Fly. Does he decide to go in?
We actually just got a late tome delivered to Emo here too.
Okay.
So that's going to put him to 25, I believe.
DY face checks the Roche pit. Sees that it's up now.
That's 25. What a timing. So 2 more slate of fist charges.
This is big. Fly. Trying to take this down. Smoke's going to break. They throw out the Cinder Brew. Moves on in here. Ori coming to join his team as they get ready for this fight around the pit. Jump forward. There's the catch from Diva's Guard afterwards. Out. DY walking for the backline. Gets the lift up onto the Phoenix. So Brew Split has been committed at this point.
Yeah, he's pushing them back, but they're not jumping into this fight right now.
Oh, good discipline by IG to hold off for the moment. DY looks for another lift up. Has it there on the bird. Emo gonna push out mid. As Vici smoke up, look to find an opening here. This could be huge for them. But that double slight and then the remnant away is gonna keep Emo surviving.
Oh, jeez, Kaka just staying in front, trying to pop smokes. Trying to be the sacrifice here. It does not have buyback on that clockwork, and gotta expect he's the one to make that big turnaround play.
Only a couple of them there. Yeah, he's got one opening right now. Only the Ember and the Mag have buyback on the Radiant. Jump in, Horn Toss, finds DY. He has buyback if they kill him here. He's caught up on that little cliff, and they will bring him down.
That's a cheap kill, right? You know, just Horn Toss. That's exactly what you're looking for right now. See if you can force that buyback.
Oh, yo. They're waiting. They have that buyback ready. Looking for it. The toss back potential there. Or just have a toss up in the air. LSA afterwards. Bringing him down low. They got for more. Yes, they do. The Horn Toss catching onto Ori. They can do it. They have the egg in the pit, but the big jump comes out afterwards. Old 11 hoping to keep the control on the Mag. He's dead. Ori ends up falling afterwards. No buyback for that lead. Is this the fight that IG have been waiting for? They've got Mag coming back in a few minutes here. The big RP connects there. The double kill, but do they have enough afterwards? Horntoss, EY in trouble. Poyo walks back in now onto Fly. Old 11 hoping to get right on top of that Raid King, but instead they turn their sights on Emo and take him down. Triple kill for Old 11. The man, the myth, the legend, doing it all for Vici on the big stage, but they buy back on the 2 cores. Now Poyo, he's in trouble. JT gets the skewer back and away. They have vision on top of that Tiny. Old 11 looking for another jump up, gets the hook stop, but it's not enough in the end. IG win the fight. There's still 2 buybacks left on Vici, but they might have to give up this Roche.
They had so much vision in that fight there too from IG. Even when the play was coming back at the end with Old 11, they saw him coming back trying to make the save on Poyo, but they were fully confident they were going to get the kill in time here. So IG waiting for the moment they find it. What an absolutely fantastic egg in this fight. Ollie has carried them through the majors on this Phoenix before, and just finding that perfect spot where there's just no way, right? He's abusing the cogs that were laid out there from Kaka to ensure that he was going to be safe. That Sunray's doing so much work for your team in this fight.
Unbelievably impressive showing. And of course, you talked about that 25 being done for Emo right before the start. I mean, in that fight, he did 9 sleight of fists throughout the whole course of it. And IG, they're not done yet.
Well, JT finding those plays, right? This is what you need in the late game. Doesn't matter what happens early, as long as you get the win in the end. Doesn't matter if you leave an Aegis or 2.
Well, they're up now onto the high ground, taking down these tier 3 towers and hoping to get some buybacks or maybe more out of this. Smoke up from 3. They have buyback on the Doom and the Tiny.
It's not often you see this with an 11K lead, that someone's just in your base taking these buildings.
Jump in, Hex, trying to get some separation. PYW in trouble, Aeon Disc afterwards. Lift up now onto the Doom. He didn't get that BKB off. They take down the Lion, dead for 70. Do they have that much left now? Emo turned upon. They also have the control onto Kaka. He falls. No buyback. Seconds fly by. He walked into the sentry though, but Old 11 getting a little bit of separation. He's coming back in a moment. Get the egg. It's not on the high. They weren't able to do it. RP afterwards on the 3, but Ori is there on the outside, RP. Wanting to chase and find themselves a couple more kills. In some trouble. Fly, nowhere left to go. He too will die. 2 minutes, no buyback. Emo trying to salvage this for his team as JT also heads away. Vici Gaming respond emphatically with that one.
Was it a high cost though, for sure, right? That was a lot in terms of losing your base. You have a buyback there on 11, which can turn to, well, a dieback in the end. Can turn into something in the next fight there too. They'll still be there. Maybe you get Poyo as well. He did buyback during that mess too. So some dangers here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this game on a knife's edge at this point.
The scary thing is I don't want to go anywhere near their base right now with the potential for just like dead heroes for 2 minutes, you know, on the side of Vici.
Yeah.
You do not want to be the one who gets horn tossed back to the tier 4s and dies.
And we've seen that happen time and again throughout this TI. 4,000 gold lead is all it separates, but really, like you're talking about, it's those buybacks that really determine how this is going to end up going. You can see the big swing back afterwards. And the buyback only being on the Phoenix and the Clockwork for the moment. Everybody else except for Ori pretty much on the timer. He does have that AM
this game.
Yeah.
And they could wait the 4 minutes here too, and of course they'd have a 2-minute window with it. They would actually have the buybacks on all 3 of their cores for IG, and you'll still have that 2 minutes or so where you won't have it on the Doom and the Tiny. So that's sort of the ideal scenario here for IG.
Tiny trying to get into that AC himself on Poyo. You can see IG playing very defensively, staying inside their base. A Daedalus done for the Ember. So he's going to be dealing out some serious damage in these fights. So he swaps that one out for the bottle.
They have so much right-click damage there too. I mean, several times you're seeing this this Wraith King empowered, has the 25% cleave talent. Mortal Strike now has the -2 second cooldown, so the swings are most certainly big. You just need a little bit of control there.
Right.
And I imagine that Kaka would love to have found that that Aghanims this game, but just needing too many defensive items, unfortunately, because keeping the chain stun going is a bit rough for them right now. A lot of that pressure onto JT, delivering in the late game for sure. But 1 fight, 2 fights, still not enough.
He needs a lot. They need to keep it going here on IG to continue to build that momentum. And for now, at least, Vici Waiting for, of course, the next Roche, but also that next big set of items with the AC done on Pollo. It does help to mitigate that physical damage quite significantly.
And this is the stage of the game where Dota gets a little bit weird because you have to run around as a unit a lot of the time. It's very difficult to actually separate unless you have like very good escape mechanics and like TP boots and everything. So this is where the vision really starts to suffer when you don't have dedicated vision heroes as a support player, because you can't just like flare all the way around. You can only really ward where you're following your team. So they are going for some pretty defensive wards on the side of VG, staying up on their own side, but they're going to have a very hard time figuring out what angle IG is coming from.
Right. You can see playing with not a ton of vision right now. Emo thinking about going in to start this fight onto DY. The root is there. Aeon Disc going to proc. So increasing that cooldown, definitely valuable.
And immediate D wards here. You know, they're just going to check the common spots.
Players here.
With your IG, look, beat you with the vision. And queuing up the rapier next for Emo.
And look at this courier down bottom too. It's just sitting there and waiting.
Yeah.
Just wants to finish off that refresher here for Old 11, and that will be masterful. Get the double doom out in these fights.
I mean, double hoof stomp, double everything, BKB. It's all good.
Well, speaking of which, though,
Pressure
it's also done for JT. Oh, these fights are gonna get mad.
I mean, it's either very simple or very complicated.
Yeah, depends how many heroes get RP'd.
And who gets
that can
doomed.
make it really easy.
Yeah. Likewise, who gets doomed.
Yep.
But bottom lane gonna get pressured in again by Vici. So IG will hold this side of the map. Because that Aegis got reclaimed so quickly after they picked it up, it's just this long window where if anybody steps too far forward and gets caught, could be the end of the game.
Yeah, there's just so much burst damage on both sides.
Definitely. Oh, and Ollie also going for a refresher.
Yeah, that's right. Ollie actually still not having a real saving item here. It just has the Yules, so the positioning of Ollie perhaps the most important.
Right, if he gets doomed at the start of the fight, that just changes everything.
He's just gonna hope that he dies so he can buy back.
Shows DY, walks high ground, rooted, hook shot afterwards. They find a good one. That's Old 11, DY, Aeon Disc out afterwards. Gonna pop the ulti and try and go in for more. Breaking the Lincolns on Emo. Now Old 11 has an opening.
That's gonna send him back.
Trying to find it. Old 11 gets the catch there. On to Kaka now, also zoning out JT, who's looking for a big jump in. Now the Ul Scepter lift up onto that Tiny. Egg is down. Fight getting very weird as they lose the Lion. What else do they have left now? Oh, gotta be careful. They throw out the stun. Pollo looking to cover. JT doesn't get the skewer back. The retreat together from Vici. They still have that buyback on the Lion. IG fully commit.
PYW is just holding on to that. Nice play from Emo. Just BKB'd and dove the backlines. Went for the big hunt there onto the Lion. And again, just utilizing that vision there too, right? Makes your fight so much easier. I feel like every time we have a team fight, the vision is just all IG. And that makes it so much easier for them to play with the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, opens up his game like crazy. And PYW just doesn't really have a way to save, with the exception of that Aeon Disc. As soon as that's down, it's over.
Has an aesthetics now though, so there you go.
Now, fly.
Oh man, Pollo's crazy. That's the kind of territory where you see, I mean, just like Stamil, right? Of course, he was on the Tiny as well, but like that's where the Horn Toss can just get you.
Yeah, and they still have a minute until those buybacks are back up. Old 11 still some amount of gold away, but he's going to regain that super fast. Because almost everybody has buyback up, IG do, and by the time this Roche fight happens, I think everybody in the game will.
10 heroes maybe, you know? Can we get another one of those?
There's a chance.
Yeah. I feel like this time there would be diebacks though. I think this fight might be it.
Yeah.
It's all culminating here.
Rooted.
God,
Looking for it. What? He didn't Pollo pops the BKB, and now the back out. Ori wrapping as well. They've got that vision on favor of IG. DY spinning in a
He's
circle.
still playing loose, this guy.
This Aeon Disc just now came back up, but they proc it, and then the runaway. Really nicely done there by Emo. So important in those fights, having that Aeon Disc done.
And that Roche, it's about to be back up here. IG gonna know right away between the flares and just leaving a Helm Creep in there. They're essentially destined every time to know first.
Yes.
But VG, it's a bit more of a question. And there it is, and Flyfly gonna go right in. They don't see any of this right now for Vici.
They're
Just
in the middle,
Ember
though.
zoning them back.
DY caught. Oh, but the Hex afterwards, and then the jump in. Aeon disc out. Do they have enough to kill him off? DY dead. Buys back immediately, and now the fight separated. Kaka goes down. 2 buybacks so
Old
far.
11 is just not here. He's running.
The rest of them are nearby. They turn, they try and get the kill, and they'll get him. DYW down and dead, but that's BKB also down. Gem on the ground, and DY will go and pick that one up.
Back in the pit, Flyfly working away at Roche.
They have to know about this.
Got some buddies helping.
This is scary times. They have that rapier done for Emo, a ton of damage. Red looking for the opening, but DY, he gets filthy off. Now the turn, Doom, oh, almost throws it out there. Doesn't get it onto the Lotus Orb, but they have 2 rounds of it.
The Phoenix.
Rapier's still there. They're looking for that opening. Try to take him down, but he gets the Evil Scepter afterwards. Troll, does he get the egg off? They do the other. Or he ends up falling. RP afterwards. Have them. They try and kill them all off, but they will. The Rapier doing way too much damage in this fight. Mimo. They had no control at all, and IG bring them all down.
Was he doomed? Because it doesn't really look like it, does it? Just keeps walking at you and swinging. And Ali, this Phoenix, excellent coverage there from JT. Can't do it by himself, but he's got a couple of friends to help out there. And yeah, that big old damage with the rapier.
Oh, danger refraction, the jump in. Oh, Playo tries to kill him off, Lifeline, almost dead. Old 11, the Aeon Disc is prop, but Ollie on the other side tries to do it to him. The BKB out. Ori, does he have enough in the tank? The Hex is there on the Flyfly, but the real damage dealer is going to be the Ember up on the high ground. Old 11 pulled back in, brought down dead. No buyback, 2 minutes. Aegis is down. They get it. It's snatched by Poyo, but isn't enough. They might just kill him twice. JT on the side. The right click's coming in from that tiny. He is so large and hard to kill. Ollie again caught, broken. One more punch. It's not enough. There's going to be the lift up again. Ori tries to turn now on to JT, but it's invis. There's no vision. They don't have it. So much healing out from this Phoenix. Ollie eventually will go down, but it comes at the cost. As the Ori is the only one left now. As Puyo comes back up alive though. LSA off the mark. Ollie turns, blows him up. Look at the Daedalus. Crit comes out as Puyo wants to salvage. This is a triple kill for the Tiny, but he's all left alone. Nobody left on his team. Puyo eventually 2 will fall. Emo didn't go down in that fight one little bit.
I don't even understand how many slights he just did in that engagement. That was unbelievable from Emo. What a play from IG, from losing and leaving an Aegis.
Who needs it?
I told you, they were fine. They were never concerned.
Unreal.
They played that last fight so well. I mean, you can honestly just go back and only watch through that fight, and it was absolutely thrilling the way he just like spaced perfectly the entire time through that engagement. Remember, we're dealing with a double Doom, and it didn't feel like it, right? No. Early game felt like Old 11 was hitting everything.
pretty sure slightly Lena favored, and Emo was winning that pretty much from level 1, and then his impact in the late game was just, I'd say, levels above that of Ori.
Absolutely. It was a big surprise that Lena didn't do as well as we thought she would on lane, but I guess we didn't even touch up on that Clockwork pick. It felt like it did do a lot too in setting up the fights and
It's the
jumping on
chaos
those backline
factor
supports.
with Magnus. Once somebody throws a wrench in the equation, your positioning falters and the RP just becomes that much more powerful. We're not going to see that this game though, thank you. I was really hoping one of the teams would ban out Magnus, as I've seen enough of that.
Yeah, I was surprised they banned out Mars over the Magnus last game. I asked you and you were like, I don't know why. There we go. And now they start out with picks that we saw very prominent in the group stage and that they've still been picking, which is Snapfire, Monkey King. How's this open?
Mars.
Well, to start with, I just think it's very interesting how highly IG value Phoenix, because I don't think we've seen another team place such high priority on this hero.
True.
And if you think back to Singapore, they actually just won with this hero in almost every game in the finals too. So not only is it a comfort pick for them, but it's a really creative way to approach the more durable tinies of this meta. So it's nice to see a different team with a different style of taking on.
Seems like a nice alternative to IO, right? Because it doesn't get punished by the AoE. Like, it is a heal support that you're scary to go on those beefy frontline cores because of that Sunray, but instead of having to be tethered right next to him, getting caught by these RPs, these disruptor ultis, you're back at a safe distance, and you also draw a lot of attention to yourself with the egg.
Absolutely, and don't underestimate the value of early points in Sunray, especially if you have a spirit player like Emo on your team who is always going for kills and always going for fights. Suddenly you go up in value as a Phoenix just because of the damage that you can provide something like a spirit hero, right? But of course the approach that Vichy take to this Phoenix, or the Snapfire, is probably the best counter in the game. You just have to press a little shredder and right click the egg and it dies. Of course there are play arounds to it, but it makes sense that it was picked here. Monkey King, we've talked about the vision that he provides and how useful it is and his flexibility before, so I don't know if we want to touch on that a little bit more, but the only other thing to comment about in this opener is the stuns are not really instant. There's Boundless Strike for the Storm Spirit, but that's about it, and it's dodgeable, like if the Storm sees it coming.
IG definitely saw this opening coming, as they've picked Monkey King on the side of Vichy pretty much any time it's been left in the pool. I see it out of their 8 main event games. They first rounded it 5 times, and also the fact that JT is such a well-known Mars player for IG, the fact that they passed up on the Phoenix Mars combo says a lot about how highly they prioritize this Storm Spirit, that long-range catch. It's nice for the tree destruction on top of the Mars. Both heroes will catch that Monkey King, but I think it's the fact that the Snapfire, you can either prevent her from hitting the egg with Arena, or you can just jump her with the Storm, so I think that's going to be a big part of their team fights.
That's a really good point, because if you look at these two supports, Storm should not struggle in killing them, or they shouldn't pose much kill threat to him. Also, if you want to think about Storm's gameplay in around the early mid-game, these two are not going to be much of a threat in terms of just like smoking mid and killing him the way that Vichy like to play, because PYW and DY, they're known for their catapult rotations, so I don't think Storm should have too much of an issue here in that regard. Also, one more thing to note about IG's Storm Spirit is they're so confident in first phasing it for Emo. They do it whenever they can. He has absolutely no fear when it comes to Storm.
I also know that Emo has a special build that he likes to build on Storm exclusive to him. What's the strength of that?
He actually, well, I think Slowing is a pretty broken item and underrated, honestly, and Emo was the one who kind of brought it back on Storm Spirit, because 4 months ago, he was building it in every game. You could see it in iLeague, you could see it at OGA, and I think a lot of other mid players picked up on it, because now if you just open any top live game, you will see Storm Spirits with Slowing. But it's just very cheap. It gives you extra tankability and just the mana that Storm needs.
It's also the fact that you get so many bottle charges in the mid lane now. That makes Storm's game incredibly reliable, and Soul Ring as an item doesn't increase his max mana pool, so you're effectively getting way more out of your bottle than you would with say something like Mana Boots or Kaya. So not only are you getting the extra mana from the Soul Ring, but you're also increasing the efficiency of your other items. And we see Earthshaker, that gives them the instant stun that they needed in team fights. Monkey King's Boundless is okay, but Snapfire's abilities are relatively clunky in order to land on a spirit mobile hero like Storm. And now I would imagine some some save disruption, like silencer, to break up this combo that Vici's representing.
That could be quite good. And now that there's an instant stun in Echo Slam or Fisher from a distance, suddenly the chain stun potential of a cookie is so much higher. So the Storm Spirit that looked good with just the first two now looks like he can be threatened by the heroes on Vici's side.
This is a reverse from game one, am I wrong? IG let Vici have Lion Doom. They just complement each other so well, but as opposed to going for the Wraith King, they go for the Morphling because they have the Shaker combo. I think they were calculating that because Doom and Lion on paper are pretty good against Morphling. It's really hard to play without Lincolns and BKB, and you also need the Ags. So there's a lot of items that he needs on the Morphling, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to get there.
So you don't think Morph Shaker is enough to power through this?
It's the be-all, end-all. If they get to that point in the game, their stuns will be insanely overwhelming. Storm will get bursted, they will get locked down, but he can't play, like, it doesn't matter how many stuns you have in your abilities if you can't cast them. And Doom, Lion are just so good at preventing Morphling from doing so. So he's going to need the Lincoln's BKB Ags, maybe like a Scotty, in order to operate these fights.
So there is going to be a timing in this game for Morph Shaker where they're actually much stronger than IG if they don't get overwhelmed at any point in the game. And yes, like Morph is under threat with the instant disable by way of Hex from the Lion. But if you look at these backline supports in Phoenix and Lion, they're going to get blown up by this Shaker Morph combination. So I think IG really needs to pick a more tempo hero because Doom, while he is very strong, you know that the team's going to play a bit of a slower game when they have a Doom because typically they will build the Midas and they will farm a little bit more and they don't necessarily rotate with every Doom initially.
For the last picks, I'd like to ask you first, BSJ, what are we looking for? What do we need to fix here for Vici's draft? What could complement the Morphling Shaker enough?
Just a momentum mid-game hero. You need this 8 to 20 minute mark to not be game losing for you. You need to not let IG snowball the kill potential that they have. They want on the side of IG to get 1 or 2 pickoffs with Finger and Doom, and then sit back and fire for 2 or 3 minutes, and then go again. And that can be crucial to just blowing the game wide open in this mid-game portion, and because Morphling Shaker, that's where it's most fragile. That's the kind of hero I'm looking for, so I want to see a mid-lane matchup that's in his favor, but we kind of talked about that last series, or last game. It felt like Emo was the better mid-laner.
Absolutely, and you can see that IG actually thought the same way that BSJ just did, because look what they ban out. They ban out the Puck, who's a momentum mid-laner, and the SF, and they actually had great success with the SF yesterday, so it's interesting to see respect placed on that hero that we really haven't seen that much during this tournament. And I suppose it would have had a lot of synergy with the Snapfire, and it would have just given them Roche, which is kind of awkward for them at the moment. So the Dragon Knight also fits the bill. So I think the bans on IG's side cover it quite well.
So you're looking for also a consistent mid laner, because you've been talking about Ori, he just needs to be able to do it decently in that mid lane. SF and DK kind of fit that bill.
Yeah.
Are there any other heroes you can think of that fit that as well? Against Storm as well.
Against the Storm. Well, what's left in the pool right now?
Well, we got like an IG's pick first.
Well,
All right, sure.
I think they might just go Void Spirit here.
Okay.
But Ori has, I don't want to call any specific player out, but Ori has been underperforming on his Spirit heroes compared to the other ones in this tournament. So it feels like they're shying away from them a little bit, which could explain why they wanted to go for that lane draft.
I would love to see Spectre or TB for IG. Spectre makes their teamfight execution way better. The chaos against combos is always nice, and then TB's just, he's not the best individually against Morphling, but they needed a lot of tower hitting and a lot of wave clear, so they go for the Spectre. They either could play for the team fights or play for the map navigation. The TB would have been better for lanes, but Spectre just makes these single target heroes like Lion. If you see a Lion walking through a ward with the line that they have so far, it wasn't all that scary unless Storm was nearby, but now every single hero on the side of IG represents solo kill threat, as long as that Ags on Spectre comes up.
Yep, BSJ the Prophet. And just to add on a couple of points to this, Spectre is one of the best carries in the game versus Blink Dagger initiators, just because you press Haunt and she just stops it. So that makes the Shaker pick go down a little bit in value, and also she can scout out the Monkey King in the trees.
Might be a Lesh game, maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but it's also one of Fly's like signature, right? We always talk about that he wants to carry the game, but also wants a team fight. Spectre does exactly that. TB, much more of a farming-oriented hero. But yeah, I actually like the Leshrac pick. I was thinking the same thing.
Lesh or TA, something like that.
But Lesh against Spectre is really bad, though, is the problem.
I think like Leshrac would die a lot here. There's not really any kind of synergy or hero to save him. If he gets jumped on by the Storm, followed up by Haunt, he's just dead.
Yeah,
so I don't
it.
want to see that hero particularly. The thing is, it looks like they should go for Void Spirit, but not only has Ori been not doing too hot on it, they might lack some damage in the early mid game if they do go for Void here. So they're taking their time thinking about this one.
We're seeing they're taking their time here. Partially, perhaps they are considering the idea that like we need a consistent mid laner as well, something that can't go badly, but also a tempo. It doesn't feel like there's anything that really fits this build for them just yet.
You need something that makes early moves, and the only reason I mentioned Lesh, it's not the best for a Spectre, but you need a tower hitter as well. Like Morphling can't reliably building siege for a long time.
Is DP possible here?
Yeah, DP. Actually, yeah, I like that a lot. Against the Storm, it's a good matchup.
That's a good question.
Yeah, they go for the Lesh. It's bad against Spectre. Later on, if he dies once or twice in the early game, I think Ori's in for some trouble. They have a lot of burst, but if he can get to like the Sanjin Kaya, Eternal Shroud, sustain through the Doom, if he's got his ultimate on, they could absolutely buy enough time for this Morphin and Shaker combo to come online.
I will agree to that, but just to reiterate a little bit, I think that a good Storm jump with a Lion follow-up in the early game should be a very easy, or a Spectre follow-up later on should be a very easy dead Lush.
For IG, what are the strengths that we're seeing from them in this draft?
They have really good scaling, and if it gets to a certain point in the mid game where Doom has his BKB and Spectre has her Ags and whatever items she chooses to go after, they should overwhelm them in team fights.
You think it's going to be an Ags, like the Ags hunting Spectre game as well?
I do think so, because she's playing with Storm in lane.
Well, we're going to have to hear from the coaches themselves, as this time Selection Slacks has met up with Vici's coach Fenrir to ask him about their draft.
Prepare for battle.
That's the spirit.
Thank you so much, Slacks. Yes, always great to get the little bit of the interview before we go into the game. It felt like he had the better pick. That's not something we normally hear from the coaches at the exit.
I feel like he's trying to pit them against each other here. Like, eventually, I don't know, if we don't settle things down here, you might get them just play a 1v1.
I like that idea a lot, but let's get into the game right now.
I think I'm taking Super in that.
You would?
Yeah. He's got it.
That's fair enough. Support players, though, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. But we're already into the game now. As you can see, both teams heading out across the map. None of those big five-man smoke-up movements that we've been seeing pretty consistently. But IG is all sitting right in the river by the tier 1 tower. I'm going to try and get some vision down. See if they get any of those early D wards. So, Morph Shaker. That feels like it's sort of the thing that we need to address, right? Did Vici have what it takes to get to that unstoppable phase that we've seen from them?
I will tell you who addressed it, and that was IG, because they saw the Shaker, and they went, okay, well, they could morph Shaker after this, so why don't we just take, like, Doom and Lion so they don't morph Shaker, and then they morph Shaker, and they're like, oh, cool. So you have Hex, you have Doom. I mean, you know that they're playing for basically this single hero overwhelming you at some point in the game, and they have excellent abilities versus that sort of a strategy.
We're going to see here the bounty runes picked up. 2 for IG, as Vici are going to head back to their side and also pick up a couple of them. Yeah, it's going to be something interesting to watch for, and of course, you know, as Effie was talking about, there's that potential to blow up the Lesh later on when you have either that Storm jump or the Spectre jump later on, and just a heck of a lot of things. So it's going to be a tough one for Ori, and needing to build into a lot of survivability items as this game goes later.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by the Lesh pick, because I thought they listed some really good reasons why it was a very risky one to go for here from Ori. I thought maybe they'd lean back to one of the spirits, or like the Kunkka, or just something that was a little bit more, I don't know, like
survivable.
Two-dimensional, yeah, survivable. That's great. I almost feel like they actually want to up their tempo a little bit, just like maybe bring in the Morph a little bit more, maybe not play so hard towards the Morph Shaker and just try and play this out, because I really think just going like all in on Morphling seems very dangerous this game.
Going all in on any hero when you have a Doom is pretty scary, as early on, Emo 3-1, Lesh 2-0. Emo getting the better of him. I think that we saw a stat from the stats group that were in that it was the most damage done by a hero, at least throughout the entire tournament, by his Ember Spirit, and maybe potentially one of the ones of all time as well. He just absolutely shredded on that physical damage Ember build.
Yeah, when those fights get later in the game and the talents start coming out, get a couple of those engagements in and you can start topping some charts. So I'm sure he's feeling great coming into this game, and now moving from the Ember to the Storm. So a bit different, a little bit more pressure on the actual initiations and follow-ups compared to the Ember Spirit, whereas Ember, he definitely moved into more of a like dancing around the map and the team fight sort of game. But I do think there were some good answers here from Vici in this draft. I think that consistently, again, the theme of vision just seemed like a serious problem for Vici in the last match, and so just kicking things off with the Monkey King, already making things better. But I really think that IG, you know, like they go back for that Spectre at the end, and it makes your fights so much easier to play when you have that Haunt. So to me, Vici taking fights during Haunt is going to be a serious problem.
Fissure comes out right there. Ollie not going to get clapped by that Boundless Strike, so we'll be able to get out of there the last second. Yeah, I think that the lack of clockwork is going to be a big win, most likely. The vision that he provided, and of course, like you mentioned, the Haunt, if you do go for it, gives you that full reveal of everybody, but it's a pretty big commitment if there's not an opening for a fight afterwards. We'll see if Flyfly can continue his impressive spree so far.
It is ridiculous, though, that you have Haunt, and then you have, like, it gives Storm the Zip, it gives Lion the Blink Hex, and it gives Doom the Blink Stomp Doom.
Yeah, it's everything.
It is so fight-winning if they catch a Haunt near your team.
In the meantime, at the same time, we're seeing the Snapfire on DY, potentially a good amount of damage that could come out as Kaka actually going to get ran at. Cookie afterwards changes target, switches over to JT, and with the rundown, that's enough for first blood. Not bad from Poyoyo.
Nice, very well done. Very, very cool. You know, they're just like checking out the spells, watching the mana pools, saying, okay, now we found our chance to go, right? Now up top, W wanted to finish what he started before. Missed the previous Boundless, and even this time not able to get the finish.
But look across the lanes right now. They're crushing it across all three for Vici.
And that's part of what that pressure does, right? Driving back Ollie, giving more freedom to Old 11 right there with the 1-1-1 at level 3. Has quite a few tools here in the lane.
So far, so good for Vici, who so often I feel like have been sort of identified by their potential and consistent desire to go into the later stages of the game. But if you got out to a hot start like this, it could be really solid for them. Changing things up a little bit here in this game number 2.
Yeah, Lesh, one of the best heroes to have, of course, in those situations, since you can take the objective so easily. So Vici, there's no reason they need to sit back, you know? Like, we talk about this, like, eventual timing with the Morph and the Shaker. You don't want to panic too hard and just play for that and not try and grow your advantage if you get one out of this laning stage. But in the river there, DY caught, but a very tanky hero, so it's not going to amount to very much.
Yeah. Kaka gonna zone him back a little bit afterwards, after taking that water rune. And at least for now, JT not really able to put that much pressure onto that Morphling. It's going to be something that we see a little bit later on in this game, and depending upon what build the Morph goes for as well. D-ward there and blocking out the camps. There won't be any side pull action either. Nice from DY.
Just a very relaxed laning stage here, right? You know, it's TI. Sometimes you leave an Aegis behind or something. Everyone's just sort of getting zen and focused here.
Oh, JT.
Oh, simultaneous in the top lane as well. They're jumping out of Flyfly. Got a lot of damage.
Big one. Spectre in some trouble and ends up going down. Old 11 picks up the kill. So only 11 last hits at this point for that Spectre. Flyfly is not having a great time.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a mystery that they're going to be trying to pick up this Phoenix for Ollie too, so it feels like maybe trying to find some sort of a solution in that laning stage here, right? With the way the PYW is playing this for Monkey King, just putting the pressure on, forcing him off from the wave there, and trying to punish one of the weaker parts of the game from a Phoenix.
Well, this is exactly what they were hoping to do on Vici. PYW starting to rotate towards this mid lane. Obviously, the 6-minute mark is incredibly important for rune potential, but having just hit level 6 on the Storm, this is going to be a tough kill if they try and go for it. Boundless Strike into the stun. Do they have enough? No, the zip comes afterwards. Emo actually sticks around for a second.
Need some last hits.
And getting the tower hits also onto PYW. Dude, Emo is not afraid in a little bit.
He actually just got all of those.
Turn now onto DY. Gets the kill. Not bad from JT.
But as you said, like, yeah, you don't get the kill because he's level 6, but it's still a lot of pressure. And of course, we're moving on to 6 minutes now. So moving to that top rune, PYW going to battle out with Ollie, but Kaka has to come and get the coverage on the bottom lane. Unfortunately for them, though, it is top. So unable to give it to the Lesh, unfortunately, but DY is going to put the TP in after that death in the bottom lane. Come fill up his mids bottle.
Yeah. So a slight lead all across the lanes. The main one that's hurting right now is Fly. And obviously without a Magnus or anything, there's no catch-up potential necessarily.
Man, that is rough. They've done an amazing job in this top lane.
Yeah.
Looking for me.
Yeah, really putting that pressure on. As Emo farming in the jungle, no bottle, and is going to have to walk home after clearing out that stack.
Yeah, and Fly, you know, on the Spectre, not the hero you really want to be heading to the jungle to on the earlier end, right? You can cross your fingers to the chip vest at this point, hoping for a comeback mechanic. And look at Old 11 just feeling so confident, dragging the wave with them too. Just like, yeah, you want to turn and fight me? I'm level 6.
Yeah, he's got that echo ready. If anybody shows up, they get blown up. Fly will get a couple of these CS here. Misses on the catapult, but regardless, not where the Fly Spectre wants to be, but these other heroes having an okay time.
Oh, look at this. TPing top lane now from Emo, the turnaround play.
This is big. 11 pulled back in, has that echo still available, wants to drop it. Hits there onto 2, but it's not enough. That's a bait.
Every time. Every Earthshaker. You know, you gotta know, you have that feeling when you play Shaker, you're like, I know this won't kill them, but maybe this time, you know? You've tried it like 50 games in a row in that exact same scenario, but early on it just doesn't quite have the oomph.
Well, just like that. They brought a couple heroes down bottom. We're hoping to find a pick there onto the Doom, but he headed back to the jungle, played it safe. Still Vici with a 2K gold lead at 7 minutes. They're having a nice start.
Yeah, the kill did also go to Emo, he said there, so not the biggest help for Fly to get a little bit of space on the lane, but Emo looking for some more plays towards that mid lane. There's the coverage there from PYW with the boundless strike, as well as DY here. This could be Kaka dead.
Oh, this will be a nice pickup. There it is, immediately into the stun, but Emo shows up, and now Kaka living a little bit longer. Won't be enough to save him, but the stun afterwards tries to turn on the Emo. Do they have enough? They're going to keep alive the Lesh for a second, but only a second longer. And as everybody else comes in from IG, Vici lose 2 in the river.
I thought Ori was away for a second, and then JT just comes. The music starts playing. Slays him from behind. So nice stuff there to get the coverage. All for a kill on a Lion. Obviously not very worth it there for VG.
These past couple moves, Vici getting caught out. But still, the slight gold lead that they're hanging on to. You have to imagine if they get this kill up top, though.
All right, he's got to live, though, right? I mean, they had the obs in the jungle. Did he leave too late?
Oh, no. He was right underneath the observer ward as he tried to head away. The slowdown needs to throw out a fissure on a Kaka, but it might be too late. No.
Barely.
Barely getting out of there. And mid lane, they find a cleanup onto Ollie and also starting to pressure this tower.
All right, so that is the price of that ward, right? Like, that's all because of that ward up near the top outpost, because he saw the rotation coming up top, so Shaker plays tight for a little bit, then starts backing away, so they're still going to try the gank, and then knowing this, VG say, okay, let's attack mid lane, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're rotating up top with the Storm Spear. We can get a great trade here, and what a costly trade, too, losing that mid tower. Lashrak 3 points in the Edict, immediately comes to the bottom lane behind JT with the wraparound.
I don't even know if they see it. They know he's here.
Yeah, they don't even know. He was thinking about doing some tree plays with the Edict.
And instead, they're going to back out to their own jungle, get down that good observer ward.
Dude, that ward is just killing them. It's spotting Kaka and Ollie moving through here again to that top lane.
Yeah, all those movements, given some good vision.
And look how PYW is playing mid here too, right? With Emo being so close to Ori, PYW, not only can he be there for defensive boundless strikes, but perhaps you can even get a good aggro initiation.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of initiation. All 11. A little scared up there.
Yeah, and actually they're going to wrap on him now.
Oh, that's a creep too far, my friend.
Yeah, this ward is very prepared for the kill. Throws out the hex. It's not even going to be there in time. Old 11 throws the fissure. Fly kills him, I think, with dispersion.
All right.
And now JT underneath the monkey. PYW backs out again. But you can see the tempo that Vici want to play. They want to make this a little different here as they force down that bottom tier 1 tower. They're setting the tempo.
They really are. This is looking fantastic for them. Falcon Blade as well as into the early perseverance here for Poyo. So tons of sustain to stay out on the map right now as a Morphling. It can start playing a little bit solo as they want to group up around this ledge track and push parts of the map. Meanwhile, you still have Old 11 just back up top.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep going here. I'm going to keep trying to slow down your Spectre. She's still the poorest core in the game. And you know, Fly just not able to get that big jungle acceleration that a lot of carries can do.
And we have a smoke up now. 3 heroes in the mid lane. They're gonna run right at that storm. Emo caught, stunned, but the heal is out. Will it be enough? Needs a little bit more. And
He went in.
God. Emo is out of his mind. He still managed to get with the Snapfire ulti. Dodging, trying to get out of it. Do they have enough? They don't have the range. And afterwards, Ollie makes the kill happen with the egg.
Looking good. He
Emo
with it.
Dude is absolutely wrecking.
That was some nice plays. They were so focused on finishing off the storm, they're just dying, right?
Yeah.
As the other heroes rotate in, all they can cling to is that attempted kill on the enemy mid. Those are the kind of plays he's gonna make here. Not something you see too often from like a storm at this point, right? You think it was more as like the you know, mid and late game, not so much like 11 minutes making the zips. Well done, and Storm, one of the best parts of this hero, 0 cooldowns, right? You're just ready to go again. You know, no big long ones whatsoever, so they're going to smoke up. They're going to lurk behind their Spectre here, probably knowing that she's a big target on that hero, right? You know, you really want to take down the old Spec, knowing that she's the one who's being bullied, and instead, Fiji just go towers again.
That's right. Focus the objectives,
and there's a blink from Old 11, of course.
Yeah, they're looking for this. Smoke is gonna break. Old 11, do they get the haunt right at the start? Jump through. That's 1 dead. Finger of death out. DY, oh, they catch them both. Tries to salvage something. It's not gonna be enough. The Boundless Strike won't be enough to keep alive Old 11. Is DY also gonna get ran down? 3 dead. IG just covering all their bases.
So JT tried to blink, sorry, not JT, obviously. 11 trying to blink off to the left, and Kaka, who got the lion this time since IG have it, manages to catch him with the Hex right there. Beautiful stuff. And then finished off there as it's, I believe JT who picked up the kill there too. So once again, we have another very rich Doom. Not the richest this game though, as that is still going to be our Morphling. Something that VG can hold on to. They're pushing these towers still, getting that done. They are moving IG around the map a lot, but they're still succeeding in a lot of these kills, so they're not the most punishing rotations. It's 10-4, but it's still a gold lead right now for Vici.
Bringing in the Shaker. Old 11 looking for the opening. Finds him. Echo, Fissure, combo. Ollie is there again, though. And Emo just gets out and walks back in again. This guy doesn't care at all. Supernova down. They just have to walk away from him. Emo has no fear.
I mean, when you have Ollie backing you up like that, why should you?
Right now, only the 2 points in Sunray, but still getting so much done on this Phoenix. Now, there is still a Morphling. Poyo farmed, getting towards that Lincoln Sphere.
All right, well, if we're going to follow the trend of last game, what's going to start to happen soon is that, you know, Old 11, he's popping off so far, or sorry, he's not doing well so far. You know, having a pretty rough game. Last game, he popped off early, and it didn't quite finish out the game. Meanwhile, JT, he had a pretty bad start. He finished really well. So, as the game goes later, maybe Old 11's going to find his mojo here. Well, he's going to try to motivate a little bit here with the chat lines, but JT and 11 comparison here. Yeah, you can see that GPM a little bit easier on the old Doom.
Very fast farmer. And in the meantime, Emo can just play right up in their base and has nothing really to worry about as long as he's got some heroes nearby to keep him safe. The full commitment for the save.
Well, they're committed to keeping Fly safe, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hanging out nearby in the trees. I'm just going to allow Fly to freely take this tower. And I say that, now they're going to smoke. They're coming through under this ward from IG, so perhaps a false sense of security. Taking a long time to push this. JT's going to help out a bit. What is the initiation with this Yules, though?
They spot him right away. Has to jump out. They don't have Old 11 here, though. I mean, this is the Blink Dagger Shaker. Kaka, waveform in, turns over, able to get the Earth Spike. That's the Lincoln's reveal. And now Old 11 showing up, jumps in, catches them both, and they got the combo coming in from the Snapfire afterwards. Fly in trouble. Fiji, they played it perfect.
Very well done. The time taken to actually finish off that tower really hurting them there. on the side of IG. They just throw everything they had at them. The way they perform that fight too, right? PYW sitting in the trees, giving them the general idea of what's up, and then he almost like baited them to the left. As he starts running away, they're like, oh, can we get a catch on this Monkey King? And suddenly out of the smoke comes Ori, and that's when the panic set in.
Well, 7 to 10. Okay, gold lead, and Emo getting closer to that Orchid.
Yeah.
Has the 2 Oblivion staffs done.
Part of the reason he wasn't down there, right? He's farming that up, trying to get that first big item for himself. And being a Storm, he'd also love this 16-minute room, but they can't find that, unfortunately. Huge for Storms to try and play around that, and it's going to be an invis for Ori.
There is little hope.
That Orchid coming out. Where do IG want to go? You've still got, obviously, a long time until the Morph Shaker combos are going to start coming out. He is building into the Aghanims right away, though, not opting for a BKB first.
That Invis rune. Ori wants to make a play here, but that's JT. He's pretty tanky. Oh, he went for the instant.
And Cookie afterwards. JT slowed down. JT dead. Good catch for that kill.
Didn't end up mattering.
Yeah. King scouting around that area as well. Cosplaying as a courier for a moment. But yeah, IG, it feels like they've kind of got a weird timing, right? Because on the one hand, you've got that Orchid ready, but Aghanim's still
ready in the mid lane. They jump old 11 here too.
That's a nice one for him. Finger of Death out, and actually gonna even use the Haunt for that.
Yeah, just doubling up and making sure there wasn't any like support nearby. I'm sure, or like hoping there obviously was, because maybe then Emo can extend the fight into a second kill. Tower still pretty healthy. The actual tower push very weak right now from IG. It's never really going to get much better with these heroes either. That is perhaps one slight issue here for IG in this game. Is that obviously that's what punished them in the bottom lane, and without a catapult, it's pretty tough for them to keep this pressure up. Emo's going to do his best, but Poyo just trying to pull the wave, and now here comes PYW with the smoke.
Looks for it, Kaka there. He doesn't hit on the stun! Oh, what a great combo! They back out of there just in time, and Kaka didn't have vision for that stun. Ori dodging back into the trees, and now they're going to find Kaka for a follow-up kill afterwards. Very well played by Vici.
It's tough because you see Emo playing so well, but part of that's because he's taking so many risks, right? And eventually you're going to get caught in the mousetrap. And that time, he most certainly did. Very well done here, but it's that lack of push that I feel like they're not even respecting their own lack of push. Like, still just trying to force that tower and just... I mean, this is why Monkey King has looked so good at the International, just helping to set up from this really long-range boundless strikes, helps combo anything. And a great catch there from Ori in the trees.
And now, with the tier 1 towers taken, this is always the big testing point, right? Like, you can find these kills on Vici, you can turn them into the tier 1 towers very easily, but getting that second tier objectives has been real test of, you know, if the teams can kind of push themselves to that next level, and it's not easy. And instead, for the moment, they find the jump now onto Morph. Not gonna be able to get anything afterwards.
Got the shift off, so huge panic. That was a smoke used here. So in order to get those tier 2 towers, what do? We take Roche.
Oh, blink back. Kaka almost gets him. Nicely done.
But that tends to be the focus after, right? So you see the vision already being laid down there up top here from Vici. DY pushing out that lane, some OBS. This sneaky ward that Vici used quite a bit near that pit as well, where it's kind of like hanging on the cliff there. All right, well done, looking down into the river.
Always so important to be able to scout out those fights before they break out.
For now, IG just waiting for that haunt, though. Got the Ags, but it was still 90 seconds away from the haunt, so after that, Fly's just been farming it up here. And you imagine that JT probably really wishing he had that Blink Dagger here, too. Has the BKB, so if it's an aggressive fight from Vici, can maybe just like get in there onto the best possible Doom target. Up top, though, Kaka, he gets aggroed on. It's the Morph for Poyo. That's beautiful. Very nice, Kaka. How do you like it?
Keeps on catching him with that one. And this is, you know, a big problem. The Lion needs to be that one initiating on top of them.
And the worst part is you don't have a recourse. Like, what are you going to do? Like, the timing's just not going to be there for you to get through the Lincolns and cast a spell.
Yeah. Have to be, like, instant on it or preempt it to some extent, which is incredibly difficult. But in the meantime, Vici continue to hold this area. They've got some pretty solid minus armor, and DY heading into the pit. Are they actually going to try and take this now? It doesn't look like it.
Seems like Poyo is not quite as confident here, and also a wave near their mid tower. Luckily, don't want to make that trade for free.
He's 500 gold away at this point from getting that Aghanim Scepter on the Morph, which can open up the game that much more quickly. And they do still have some really good control on IG. You know, you've got that Orchid ready, you've got Doom still, even though he's still a little ways away from that Blink Dagger on JT.
Look at that scan from Old 11 too, though. He actually just scanned the trees near himself up top there, so not a great idea from VG as to what IG are actually doing. They're just wondering, like, surely they're coming for someone, but who is it? And well, the answer is the mid lane. Don't want to go into that Linken's. Ori has the fresh BKB and the Yules.
They break the smoke, Hawk comes out, they jump immediately onto Morph, not going to catch. Old 11 now backing away, they catch Ori, but maybe the counter initiation play with the BKB out. They could have this. Supernova used. Vici, do they want to chase? Old 11, he's got Blink Fissure in 7, but it's too far away. And now they have that Ags done and also a Tome coming out for Poyoyo, so he's going to also have 18 most likely.
Ollie using that egg, probably saving Emo as he did get stunned up in the middle of that there, and no real defensive item to help other than this Essence Ring.
And here we go. So often, this has been the combo that feels impossible to deal with.
Yep.
You get the double Fissure, double Enchant Totem, amping up the damage from Poyoyo, and the amount of control and the power spike that you hit on Vici, they got to get something here.
I feel like this is the fastest one I've seen at the event, at least from casting. Like, I've seen quite a few Morph Shaker games, but for it to be ready at like 21 minutes like this is terrifying, especially because Shaker has the BKB, and at least for us, when we were casting all these matches, it's been the 4 Shaker, and you're struggling to get even just the Blink Dagger, and that makes this combo not nearly as impactful, but with Old 11 being on the core Shaker this game, having the Blink, having the BKB, this is a frightening scene for IG, and gotta imagine there's a lot of pressure on JT, but he has that Blink, he has the BKB, so perhaps JT can do it again here with the Dooms.
It's going to be important that they make that happen, but the tier 2 tower they're going to have to give up in the top lane, which looks to be claimed here in just a moment. Because that is one thing that you can sometimes do, right? Is we've seen teams go for, like, you know, a haunt play or something like that and then kill the Shaker, and then there's no longer that combo. But in this instance with the BKB on it, her Spirit becomes a lot harder, or Shaker a lot harder.
You might see some of the plays that they've been trying here too from VG. The last time that haunt came out, they tried to pop a smoke in the backline for the support, so trying to almost like force the haunt in from Flava and just be like, all right, well, you know, what's going on here? So they've already thought about a couple of counter plays, and now we have the Force Staff done for DY as well. Help it break up any of the chain stuns, also just disengage Poyo in certain engagements too, I'm sure. But they're just going to keep knocking on your towers. We've talked about this, the lack of push here. Oh, down bottom.
They catch him. Solo, why not? That was huge. They blow him up there with that Fey Grenade. That's the combo you need, and given the tip, that's a huge kill.
Mean, they said Spectre was hoping for a chip vest earlier, but you're always hoping for the Fey Grenade here with the Morph and the Shaker combo. The Shaker absolutely loving this thing. You get the totem damage on the throw.
And moving on in, trying to hold this high ground. They put their hopes into Poyo and jump in. There's going to be the cookie afterwards. Do they have enough? Waveform through, bringing down JT. Has to pop the BKB, run away.
God, that was so sick. The Boundless to stop the initial cast of the Doom, and then Poyo throws the Linken's on top of Ori, and so JT's just like, okay, well, I guess I just can't
I'm out of here now.
Yeah, at least he didn't waste it, right?
Yeah.
But excellent. Just like, they know the stack of how the fight's supposed to go, right? They can see all the spells in the order that IG want to go for, and you're just trying to disrupt that.
No. This is one of those moments where, you know, you put the game into Poyo's hands and hope that he's going to be able to hang on to it.
Well, there's that. I also just think that Ori's also having a really nice game too. Like,
oh my God! Jumps in. Can they break the Linken's though? It doesn't matter. The double Fissure, and now the chase down the Enchant Totem. JT pops it, turns. Do they have enough though?
Old 11's coming too.
He's got with the Aegis. They just don't want to go for it. Poyo waveform tries to get him. Adaptive Strike, not quite going to be on the mark. So JT gets away. They've got to wait out that Aegis.
Meanwhile, Emo is still just down here. I'm sure feeling a little nervous hiding here. Doesn't have a TP right now. Nighttime, gonna try and use the lack of vision to escape. This is some dangerous stuff.
That was very close to death. I mean, again, it feels like right now IG are kind of trying to wait this out, at least until the Aegis comes down. They still got a minute and a half. Vici, do they try and push that tempo that much further with 2 tier 2 towers down?
And look at them, they're just camping.
They're ready.
Hiding near this outpost.
Walks
Kaka,
into
he's already been one shot once.
Fissure, jump in, done. It happened so quick.
Oh, meanwhile, Emo gonna show on this wave down here. Is there any real punish though? No. Just DY with a force and a cookie. Not enough teammates. Okay, well, unless he's not careful with the zips, but
he's out. Well played.
This whole map now belonging to VG. Game 2. This is a whole new one for them. And I mean, really, all you can do is just kind of lie and wait for Flyfly to help find that one big fight. Try and set up the plays, set up the initiation for Kaka, for JT. See if they can catch this Morphling, but Puyo not making it easy.
And Old11 jumps in, finds the Spectre, in trouble, going to fall soon. Flyfly almost able to get out of there, and will. Saved again by Ollie. Old11 went for that dunk, but it wasn't enough.
Oh, once again proving why they like Phoenix. Sunray save there.
They've waited out the Aegis. It's gonna expire now, 15 seconds. If you're IG, do you kind of have to go now, or is it still too dangerous to fight in a Morph Shaker?
I think you smoke out and go, and you try and find a fight with Haunt before the potential timing for the Roche, right? Because you want to have the Haunt back up when the Aegis fight could occur. So push out your waves, find the smoke play. There's not the best vision right now, like really deep from VG, so there's a good chance they can get away with this this smoke. Meanwhile, unfortunately though, IG, they also don't really see that much of the map. I'm not entirely sure where VG Gaming have gone.
PYW shows for a second with that boundless strike in the mid lane. But IG looking to hold their own high ground for the moment. The other thing here is just like the XP lead is going to start to stagger way into the favor of Vici. Those outposts being taken as well. This entire game swinging into their favor. At the back of this Morph Shaker combo.
They have hit a big item now though. They do have the BKB for Emo, so he's been working on that for a while. And combined the Essence Ring has a lot of survivability. Can try and disrupt some of these plays, and as you said, like maybe try and find the initiation on Old11, as can get that finishing damage.
Smoke up.
They use the Haunt to find him first.
Ori shows with the Lincolns on him, and Vici look ready. Jump in, Kaka breaks it, now the turn, Fissure out, Doom onto Lesh. Is it gonna be enough though? Waveform through, Emo wants to get a target for the kill. They get one, no buyback on Ori, and the damage onto Vici, he died! Wait a minute, what? They just evaporated. No buyback on any of them, huge win for IG.
Man, I don't know, JT and Kaka are just so quick on that. I feel like we see this all the time, but placing that ward down and just jumping in the mana drain, into the Hex, into the Chain Stun disable, into the Doom there too, just absolutely no chance. And then on top of that, to find the non-shifting Morphling was just like a massive bonus. You know, he's got a lot of tools here, but he does not have a Dispel. So getting pulled and orchided there for the kill from Emo.
Wow. In the meantime, Old11 trying to find a little bit of retribution. Will go for the TP out, does manage to escape after that shadow step.
Jeez, that is a frightening amount of damage though. Manta being ready there from Flyfly. I would say impressive how Flyfly's game has gone. Like, think about where you've seen Flyfly in this match. It's basically like the safest possible farm. Oh, nice solo pick there. Emo utilizing that DD rune to keep them in the game here. But Flyfly, I mean, lowest score in the game for sure, but I think recognizing just how important it is to number one, not drop any further by just getting, like, you know, picked off and feeding, but number two, always be ready and set for that Haunt, because it's so crucial to how they want to find these engagements and eliminate this double threat of the Morph Shaker.
And you saw in that last one, I think how important it is still to get the BKB on Morph. You know, the fact that Puyo could just die to those two disables, and the fact that it's all on him, right? Like, you need this BKB to make sure you don't get chain stunned and to make sure you're constantly keeping on top of them. So a little ways away from it. Probably won't go for another fight until Aegis, or rather another high ground push until Aegis.
Old11 drawing a sort of like stalking wraparound play here, but it's like they're not sure if they want to commit to that.
Arcane, but just going to keep that pressure on. Has that Aghanim Scepter done. Going for the Lotus next. So the gold lead, as it has felt throughout this series, consistently into Vici's favor, but IG are the ones that were winning that last big fight. And Emo, the one that's setting the tempo.
Oh, it's going to be a very tension-filled couple of minutes here. It's a really long respawn. Oh, they spotted that one.
Got him, quick and easy. Emo, he's a player.
You know, they're actually pinging like, oh, they have a ward up here, but I don't even see a ward. I'm not sure if that was just a, like, you know, they always do this sort of play.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Just understanding inside the heads a little bit right now. 2 minutes away from Roche. Emo going in to check it. And in the meantime, for Vici, it feels like they've really stalled out. You know, they got this big item timing combo very early on, took down some tier 2 towers, but these last couple fights, things starting to feel a little bit scary for Vici here.
Yeah, and their team fight's pretty empty if they don't have the Morph and the Shaker together. So Morph also doesn't want to be like on the other side of the map right now, farming up this BKB. So everyone, it's like a giant gravitational pull towards the Roche pit in these moments, particularly at TI, it feels, you know. No one wants to make that mistake, miss that crucial engagement, and so the farm speed's going to slow. They have to give everything available to Poyo here to try and get that BKB before that fight starts, and they're going to be very fortunate that it's still another minute away because this BKB can be the massive difference here, especially if they go for the Doom onto the Leshrac again.
You're also getting towards some of these other big items that can make a big difference. Shiva's pretty soon on the Doom, as well as Scotty being worked on for Fly to help mitigate that regen that you get from the Morph when you're swapping between the two forms. So it's going to start to become more likely that they can kill Poyo if he doesn't have that BKB. The more and more of these items that get picked up.
Well, IG once more going to try and control the vision game here, though, by having that gem onto Kaka. So they can clear up and just ensure that, like right now, we know there's no wards, obviously, on that side, but this is giving them the confidence, too.
Smoke.
And especially if something gets dropped down here when they want to look for that high ground play.
Fly, they got vision. They want to go on him, though. Killing that Spectre is so difficult. 11 revealed for a moment. Fly sees him, baiting the fight, the jump in. They decide to take the bait, but do they have enough to save? Force Staff keeping him alive for the moment, but dead. Fly goes down. And now looking for more. Up on the high ground, they catch Kaka. That BKB, it's not going to be enough. And tries to get control. The silence is out there. Meanwhile, the Moonrose gets his comes down. Emo does it all for his team. The chase down now, looking for more. Old 11, nowhere left to go. Unreal.
Oh, man, VG knew it. IG knew it. That's bait. You know, it's like Spectre's going left and right, just swinging, dangling there with the chum, and you know the buyback haunt's coming, but they thought they could get enough kills, they would be worth it. And but putting like all in on the BKB.
Now, no buyback, 60 seconds with no morph. I mean, we'll see if this is enough to stop IG from going in for the Roche, but with Roche up now and no morphling, that's like almost all of their team fight.
Well, part of that problem, of course, you know, they did use the haunt, they used the egg. They use the Doom, so there's not a lot of incentive for IG to fight there either, but we also recognize just how like crucial the Morphling is. I'm a little surprised they're not gonna like push for something. Feels like maybe they'll just like smoke in for kills. And that seems to be the plan here. But scan hits. They know there are heroes.
Emo, there's a regen route also over the jump. Old 11 caught, under control, in trouble, going to die. Has buyback, 80 seconds away. Ori hoping to get a little bit of help there onto DY, who's chased down by the combo. Emo low on mana though, and now the turn with the stun. Emo, he doesn't have that much left with the BKB out. Old 11 now wanting to chase this one down. What else do they have left in the tank? Morphling's back up in 2 seconds. Emo went in so deep and ends up getting punished for it. What a great fight. Down. And looking for Kaka. The chase is there. Morph is there for the finish. And now they're force out these couple of buybacks. Kaka's coming back, but can they take down Roche in time? They're actually just going to stick around for this one. He has to walk back out.
Oh, the Solar Crest too. They're getting the big damage on really fast here, thanks to DY.
Easy peasy. Got to be careful. Storm buys back as well. And yeah, he's going to run in on 11, trying to play a little bit of interference, and that's enough to get the Aegis on Poyo. Still in Earthshaker form. Retreats back again. And that is enough. Man, Beachy got away with one there. Old 11 just throwing his body on the line.
Yeah, very dangerous fight there. Whoa, they came back.
The turn and the egg. The BKB out. He's done. Emo tries to salvage this with Ori dead. Can he do it all on his own right now for Poyo? Fly walks away and then through it. Beachy decided to go back in on this. And we'll see if that ends up being punished now as JT walks in, hooks up afterwards, switching down. This is not the way he's supposed to go. Aegis gonna be reclaimed, and do they have a second round of it now? Lincoln's it's still on cooldown. They get the Doom off. The chase down is there, and Poyo to fall. 3 dead for Vici. IG, they waited it out.
It's just half a hero there without the Shaker. Excellent idea from IG. It's very scary, obviously, fighting to anyone who has the Aegis, but more Shaker, no Shaker, you know, you're not built the same as a normal morph, right? You're not going to have that same tools available to you, and you've invested so much in utilizing this combo. Find a very big punish here from IG. Bold to go for it, but they sort of had an idea of what was happening through a lot of that too, because they placed that really deep ward as well up on that high ground.
Right.
After the, when the previous fight went kind of poorly and they lost Emo.
But again, the decision to go back in for that quick pickoff, like it felt like a bit too greedy in the end as they eventually run down Poyo.
And then he like having everything ready after the Aegis there too.
Right. There was just nothing left in the tank, and that Lincoln's coming back off cooldown. You can see JT feeling himself.
Yeah.
And Vici.
Not so much. Oof. Well, time for them to regroup here. Morph Shaker, still terrifying. And they actually still have the shard sitting at the fountain right now, so that will be on the Morphling once the respawn is there.
20 seconds away.
Oh, Invis rune here. Oh, they
find old 11. Quick pick. Emo tried to look for more afterwards, but there was nothing else doing.
That ward from so long ago paying off big time. And that's going to keep them offset too, right? Like that's actually a massive loss for Vici, because that's another 70 seconds, and IG, no, that was a dieback again from the Shaker, so they can just go for these tier 2s without any threat. So that means that Vici, they got to improvise here. They got to find some sort of a solution with this Morphling without the Shaker. I don't think they want to just give these up for free here. I mean, especially when the Doom's not up.
It's just so difficult, and they also just picked up something else, a rarely seen item on Spectre, the BKB. Everybody else is buying it that's a core nowadays, so why not? But you see, it's speaking to a problem in Vici's draft. Without that Shaker there, Morphling really doesn't have that much damage.
Well, IG, they're not going to rush anything here, though. Just going to relax it back. Just going to hang out in the river and keep controlling these runes. Now Emo has an arcane ready for the next one there too, and also eyeing up the scythe. So you're talking about these BKBs and maybe looking to catch and punish, particularly onto Ori as well as old 11.
Ori actually decides to take the shard instead, so they're gonna have the split earth.
After all that, I like that considering the game state, right? That is definitely a very defensive shard when they try and come high ground. Perhaps a worrying sign for how VG are feeling about this game.
And just look at the vision that you have right now from IG. Like those 3 observer wards scouting all of the movements that VG might want to make.
So they have smoked and they're following Ori. Trying not to let their presence be known here, but the bait of the Spectre was successful. Very much doubting this one will be, and whoopsie.
Oh.
Just a simple shadow step, causing the BKB to come out. Oh, maybe that is the biggest bait. I'll just pop my BKB at the shadow step.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so scary about it, though, right? Just like any vision, you don't know what's coming in. Like, he doesn't want to just get, like, jumped on by the storm or something, so he's sort of panic BKB.
Or doomed or what have you, any of those things. Like, if he can get the Pulse Nova off and then BKB, that's maybe going to be enough damage dealt out by him to make it worth it. But 40 seconds. And in that time, IG don't have an Aegis themselves, but can play pretty aggro out on this map. Play around their high ground vision.
JT just has to make sure he doesn't make a misstep here again. I would be so scared if I was him, trying to ensure that I'm not going to hamper my morph in another engagement.
Oh, you mean Earthshaker, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Jeez, man.
Old 11.
I don't know why I'm so upset with JT Shaker today. Can't get it in my head.
nonetheless.
But JT as well.
Yeah,
You know, on
he's
this
very
dude.
important.
Yeah, nailed it. It's only like the 6th time I've done this game. I'm sure it's fine. Telescope picked up here.
Okay.
All right. And that's not bad. It's not really great, this game, for any of them, particularly. It's pretty nice for Snap, actually. Give me some neutrals here. Are we got any saving neutral items this game?
Ooh. Do IG group together.
Okay, we're a little busy with the game deciding fight. Okay, I gotcha.
They're
That's
showing.
cool.
And speaking of neutrals, that ninja gear, that's pretty clutch for the Doom.
Oh, that's actually so frustrating to play against.
You can see that IG, like Fly just has no interest in doing anything but haunting in for a fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of the same mentality that you need on Old 11. In terms of just, like, I need to live.
Oh, he just ran into all of them. The Echo's not enough. The BKB came out. Ori in trouble. Ori dead. Just like that, it happens. And is there anything else left in the tank? Now jump forward to the Doom. They caught him. What a play from JT. You monster. Unreal. PYW's going to get ran down by Fly. And at this point, the TP out. He ends up not even getting out of there, indeed.
Yeah.
Vici lose 3, lose 4. IG are just too good.
We talk a lot about the ease of execution in Dota, and you can just see it there, how easy these fights look for IG because of that haunt. And the confidence that Emo has in the team to back him up.
I think that was like, Emo saw him walk back into the trees and he's like, there are so many people that just hide in those trees and wait for a fight, and just started it. No fear from Emo.
Yeah, and then Kaka too gets a little juke back in the tree wrap around there too, which helps bait the Morphling over there, which got the Doom out. And now onto the high ground they go. IG, masterful game plan here. And Vici, you know, again, they felt like they kind of had this lead. It was building up. But IG, they wait for their moment and they strike.
Unbelievable performance so far, and with 40 seconds left before the heroes start showing back up again, they've got 30 until Shaker. IG might just be able to go for it all. They turn their sights now onto these tier 4 towers, try and close this one out and secure themselves further battle. It TI-10 knocking out Vici Gaming. Can they do it though? Last couple of seconds, tier 4s are hard to go through. They don't have a ton of tower pushing potential themselves, so a little ways away. Old 11 gonna buy back. Have they gone around too far here? BKB out. And just like that, they're going to TP away. The game continues as IG respecting that danger coming from their opponents.
Yeah, I mean, they were tier 2s up on the other lanes anyway, so like, might as well push and pressure. Maybe you can force out that like 10-second left buyback on the Morphling and just really end this one. But they at least get the Shaker, so Old 11 under threat once more. They're gonna move into the base. They've gone for the smoke.
Trying to find somebody. You have to imagine that they know about this on IG.
But now the Scythe is there too.
Oh, it's so scary. So much control. Jumps in.
Emo has a
Fissure
regen,
opening. Maybe an opportunity. Wait for him through dead. That's one. Kaka breaks the Lincolns. Now looking for more. Jumps through. Tries to catch for the kill onto Kaka. Switching back into the other form. Snapfire ultimate coming out as Emo. Turns now onto Old 11. Tries to kill him up. With a force step to the low ground. And gets away. BKB out, but the Fissure not enough to keep him alive. Emo out of mana, but the jump back in. JT catches him again. The Doom is out. And they try and stop this. Ori runs into the ledge, but he just doesn't have enough. He'll kill Kaka, and actually, with Fly walking back in, they might be able to do something. Good Yule Scepter lift up, muted. This Doom is lasting forever, and in the end, they got a second one as they chase down Ori, dead again. IG, bring them all back home.
I could talk about something wonderful from every single player in IG this game, but to me, part of that also just comes down to like Fly. And the way that he's enabling his team in these fights, always holding out for those perfect haunts and the shadow steps. He's not getting greedy. Do you know how hard this is for core players? Think about how long this guy was just like the absolute poorest core in the entire game. Just understanding how crucial he is to them getting back into this one with that use of the vision.
And PYW will get caught again. Fly there to play cleanup. So many sick plays as he was going for that arcane rune and gets punished. Unbelievable play from IG here, who come back from leaving an Aegis in the pit in game number 1 and managed to win it still. And now in game number 2, coming back again. Just
having
patience, so good.
It's such a huge lead right now here too. Like, there's no buyback on this Morphling. Everything is on the table for this next fight. They're gonna push through one of these tier 2s, have them all done. They're gonna come to your base, and that could be the end. Like, VG, you're sitting there right now in that booth, you're just thinking, like, the next fight, that's the of our TI run.
It might just happen right now if they're not careful. JT spots them both there. Wait for him to open. Jump in from Emo. So often he's been the one to do it for him. As they try and chase, try and get the pullback. Do they have enough for the kill? All the control in the world. No more Morphling left alive. They turn now on to DY. He too will fall. Well, Old 11 comes back in the fissure, but the 2 cores are dead. All the damage is gone. Emo will eventually die there, but has the buyback come out immediately afterwards. And IG with 100 seconds left. Roche is gonna spawn again in a second.
Wow.
They're still gonna play it that safe.
They really respect Earthshaker, I guess. It's like, guys, we have 100 seconds. We can go kill Roche shortly and come back to the base.
Yeah, and that's the roller spawn right there. You know, they want to get another shot. They got to practice the Aegis pickup.
You know, he's actually gonna have enough dooms that he can doom all the remaining heroes on Vici.
That's right.
I say we give him the triple, guys. I think IG can do it.
See if they can make it happen.
I love how they're still scanning here too. Like,
yeah, they are not wanting to give this one up. So Aegis into the hands of Emo, and the double refresh doom. Ready to go with that arcane blink as well.
they still look so serious right now from IG.
After that game number 1, you can't afford to throw anything away here. So they run it down the mid lane. Old 11 looking for the jump. The big echo. Wait a minute. He catches him. Kaka goes down dead. But Blackfly shows up and the BKB is out. The silence is there. Egg afterwards. All the Vici fallen. All dead. Good game. Well played, Cold. IG top 4. They got a date with Spirit.
Good luck next here from Vici. They're opposed to DPC. They're gonna toss the torch over, as at least one of these 2 teams will continue. IG, pretty, I don't know, pretty dominant 2-0, honestly. Like, VG had their moments where it felt like they were in the lead and they should have been controlling the game, but it was very brief. It was like flashes of like, oh, VG have got this, but there was always sort of this like overarching just like theme of IG just looks so good right now.
Yeah, and I think, again, like how solid this performance was. You got to think it's going to give them some good prep and readiness for their series later on today. But for now, let's head on back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Lyrical and Trent. Well, Coach Fenrir of Vici Gaming did say going into that match that I know my first draft for game 1 was greedy, but this time the draft was won by IG, and so was the series. It was something maybe we could see coming literally from the start, especially that last pick that had Vici in quite the bind.